94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
Man, we made it to Friday. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing as always. And, man, it is a Cowboys game day. Talk about Friday night lights. I know we had some football on last night, although based on ratings, everybody was watching baseball in a cornfield, which was magical. We'll talk about the Field of Dreams. That was the most watched baseball game last night. Most watched regular season game, according to Fox, in 16 years. It was cool. Everything about the Field of Dreams game last night was a home run by Major League Baseball. That was on at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar last night where we were at. So I wasn't watching it all that closely. But I did have it on the DVR because I wanted to see it. I wanted to see what it was like. And, of course, when you're watching baseball in the DVR, you can fast forward about to the ninth inning because then you had all the drama of a Hollywood script with the Yankees hitting a two-run homer in the ninth and then the White Sox hitting the walk-off homer in the ninth into the cornfield. I thought it was fantastic. And I want to see more of it. And the fact that Major League Baseball is only doing one, I think, is the right thing to do. Leave them wanting more. Although that needs to be an annual thing, the annual cornfield game. And you wonder what else needs to happen. You know, typically speaking, Pledge, when there's the gimmicky stuff, I go, why? I thought that with the outdoor thing that hockey does, the Winter Classic. Who wants to spend New Year's Day sitting outside when it's freezing-ass cold to watch hockey so far away you can't see the puck? I mean, on television, it looks fantastic. The game at the Cotton Bowl, some friends of mine that actually went said it was kind of awful because you couldn't see the puck and it's cold. But you think about the scenery from Lake Tahoe, it's outdoor hockey. That was cool. I've always thought it was neat when they've done the college basketball games on the aircraft carriers. Although you do it so much, it loses interest. I know immediately on social media, wish I could take credit for this because I thought it too, but so did everybody else because it's stating the obvious. Why doesn't the NBA do something like that in Venice Beach at the basketball courts or at Rucker Park in New York City? It would be, except for you're not going to play an NBA game in December at Rucker Park, right? But there are times of the year that you could make that happen.
Venice Beach, though.
Venice Beach, you could do year round. I mean,
sunset. Oh,
God, it'd be spectacular. I mean, there's lots of. I mean, hell, we had baseball in the Alamo Dome. I didn't think that was possible. Remember Big League Weekend?
Oh yeah.
And at first we were like, how are they going to do that? And it was always fun, and it was always a success. And I'm admittedly the guy when I hear teams or leagues say they're going to do something, I'm like, why? What's the point? I don't know what the NFL could do, to be honest. I mean, they already do a Hall of Fame game in Canton for the preseason. I don't know what football could do. You know, they go to Europe. They go, you know, they already do things like that. But the venue, and you realize the amount of money it takes to put on something like that and the amount of money you're not making if you were playing at your home stadium. But let's get crazy with this. Could you imagine an NBA game at Cameron Indoor and all the students get their normal seats at their normal student prices? The atmosphere that would create for an NBA game. I think last night's Field of Dreams, that baseball game and everything about it was incredible. Christopher Louis says, go back to what he said. I didn't read. You're rolling through those fast, Pledge. I thought it was something about Sandlot. Maybe. Oh, there it is. All right. You're just rolling through them. Next year, they need to go do Sandlot. Sure. I mean, you know, what about the Bad News Bears? Can we get one of those games? I thought it was great. And then, of course, it obviously sparks the debate on your best sports movies, which is a rabbit hole we're not going to go down. Oh. You've got yours. I've got mine. I mean, when was the last time you watched Field of Dreams?
It's been a hot minute.
It's been more than that. I mean, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, when was the last time I actually watched Field of Dreams? Now, during the pandemic, I remember Bull Durham was on one of the gazillion things that I have, and I watched Bull Durham.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I actually watched Field of Dreams.
That's on the networks for not putting it on.
You would have thought USA or somebody would have had it on leading up to this. I mean, I really wish I would have. Vince Trevino says he's never seen Field of Dreams. Christopher Louis said it was on TV a few months ago. You got a channel I don't. Or I didn't see it, or I didn't care when I saw it on. I mean, that's part of it. Like Field of Dreams for me isn't one of those go-to movies, or, there's certain movies that you're flipping through the guide, and if you see it, I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night, midnight, whatever, you stop and you watch. There are things that you see that says, put the remote down, you're stuck here till 3 a.m. It got you. The Godfather does that to me, although that becomes 5 a.m. because there's always another one in succession when those are on. But but Field of Dreams was never that for me. I'm trying to think. I wish I would have had the foresight, as great as what last night was, to watch Field of Dreams maybe last weekend, just so that was fresh in my mind while I was watching it. That would have been the only thing is just, I wish it was, because the movie came out 30 years ago. And why did it take baseball, Major League Baseball, so long to come up with this idea? But I thought everything was great about it, including the greatest meme that James Pledger has ever shared with me. You want to share, Pledge?
Sure, I'll share it. It's closer Aroldis Chapman, who has had his issues with Astros second baseman Jose Altuve, where he's coming out of the cornfield, squinting, looking, asking, Altuve out there?
It's funny. I mean, it was great, and it's true. He would have got lost. I would have been lost. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. I thought everything about that baseball game last night was fantastic, and the amount of people that watched it, tells you Major League Baseball hit a home run with this. There were some questions on how it was going to get perceived and what were they going to do. And, even, Joe Buck in the bow tie and all everybody dressed the part to play that game in Iowa. And it looked spectacular. I thought it was neat.
The throwback uniforms were really cool. I liked that aspect of it as well as they were playing out there. And man, it was just so picturesque, like at sunset as they're playing, like the visuals of the camera work during that game was spectacular.
And I'm the guy that every time I hear that, I kind of roll my eyes and go, why? And then after it's over, I'm like, man, that was awesome. I should have been more down with that from the get-go. But what else could there be? Like, I would love to see an NBA game at Rucker Park or in Venice. Let the Lakers and Clippers play a game in Venice. I'd watch that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
New York, Brooklyn at Rucker Park.
Sure. I think just something. I don't know what can we do for NBA All-Star Weekend? Take all the guys that are from the New York City area that actually probably played at Rucker Park growing up and let them go back as pros and do something. Let it be an exhibition. If we're talking about, and credit Dan Patrick trying to figure out how to get Usain Bolt and Tyreek Hill to race and come up with something, all the different exhibition type stuff that we see that we would all watch. And the TV types are creative enough now to make it worth your while visually. Last night was incredible. Watching a college basketball game on an aircraft carrier is incredible. What I want to see them do is play that college basketball game on an aircraft carrier that is underway and not in calm seas. Added element of difficulty to pop a shot, if you will, when that ship takes a big wave. Now, an aircraft carrier is not going to roll like a little frigate or a destroyer, but you certainly can feel the waves when you're underway on an aircraft carrier. I think that would be even better.
Is there
Add
anything they could do with football like that?
No, I honestly, I don't think that you could on the NFL level. First off, you have to have a football field big enough. To go to Peyton Manning's high school down in New Orleans. I just, where would you go for the National Football League to try to make something that unique? Where, especially in the regular season, where you could have to give up a home game in the home revenue. See, in football, you see stuff like that in the preseason. You know, remember the Cowboys and Oilers used to play preseason games in the Alamo Dome because they knew they could sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the Vikings, their preseason game, tickets are going for as low as $3. $3 to not watch Kirk Cousins play football. $3. Now, I'm sure after the StubHub charges, they'll be $40, but the tickets face value right now are $3 because, as we all know, season ticket holders, you have to buy the preseason to get the regular season, and they're not going. So they try to get anything for them. But according to Pro Football Talk, there are tickets for a Minnesota Vikings game going for $3 this weekend. It's pretty incredible when you think about it like that. There is preseason football tonight with the Dallas Cowboys playing. We'll talk about that quite a bit in today's edition of the Blitz, as we've got Friday Night Football, a game that you can listen to later tonight right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM, brought to you by Ewald Kubota. Kickoff is at 9 o'clock, I think. The pregame show will get going around 8 o'clock, and you've got some good Friday Night Football, which is, I mean, there was preseason football last night, and we'll get into Mac Jones and everybody trying to crown him a starter after 5 drives. Hold on. Cam Newton is still going to be the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots. You got a bunch of games this weekend, and we'll talk about the bigger games and the bigger storylines because, while this is preseason game number 2 for the Cowboys, for most everybody else, it's the first preseason game. So your first chance to really look at them as you start diving in for fantasy football. We'll talk about that. Our friend RJ Ochoa is going to join us coming up at 5 o'clock to get you ready for Cowboys and Cardinals. Steve Kerr had some interesting comments about Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs following that gold medal win in Tokyo. We'll get into that as well. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 pair of tickets to go see WWE's Monday Night Raw Monday night at the AT&T Center. So we're going to give away a pair of tickets an hour. We also have tickets for the Hunters Extravaganza. I want to update. Last night at Slackers, 3 different people asked me if I got my shirt from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. See, I ordered a Drew Pearson t-shirt to wear on Sunday was the idea. And when the package came in the mail, they sent me a Calvin Johnson Megatron shirt. So they sent me obviously they fixed it, and I finally today got my Drew Pearson Hall of Fame shirt, which looks fantastic. Everything about it is perfect, and I still have this Lions shirt. If anybody is a Lions fan and wants a free shirt, let me know, because they told me don't send it back, give it to somebody. Problem is, I don't know any Lions fans. I don't. If you're a legit Lions fan and you want this Calvin Johnson Hall of Fame shirt, and it's a nice shirt, I'll just never wear it. I don't even know if I'd use it to cut the grass. I mean, and I don't cut my own grass, but I mean, I don't know that I would ever actually use it. It is what it is. So if you're a Lions fan and you can prove you're a Lions fan, don't just try to get a free shirt from me. I'll take care of you. But in the package, I guess when I called and I talked to the guy and told him what happened, and he's like, keep the shirt, I'll send you a new one. It comes in the mail, but he threw in a little gift. It's a package of cards, trading cards, Panini Hall of Fame class of 2021 cards. Now, my first thought was, do I open this? Because it's a package. I'm sure it's got all the members of the Hall of Fame in there. So I called my friend Paul Cavazos over at House of Cards and Collectibles and asked him, what should I do with this? Is this worth anything? And his first answer was, dude, they threw it in the box for free. How much do you think it's actually worth? Right? Sure. And then he said, look on eBay and see if there is any for sale up there. $8 on eBay right now. But he said, don't open it. Because you don't know in 10, 15, 20 years, maybe, because how many of these did they actually make? And that's what really helps the value in cards is the scarcity of them. So if you leave them in the pack, you're going to maximize value later. Well, I've got a ton of memorabilia, none of which I've ever tried to sell. Most of my autographs are worthless because they say to Jason or something like that. I'm very fortunate in our business when you meet somebody and you get them to sign something. I always have them put to Jason so they don't think I'm signing something to go straight to eBay with it anyway. But I think it's cooler if it says to Jason, which really hurts the resale value of it. I know my wife years ago made me label everything because she can't read half the signature. So when I'm dead and she tries to make some money off of it, she'll go that route. But the curiosity now is killing me that he has told me, don't open this package of cards. Should I? 656 ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Jason Minix. It's an unopened sealed package of Hall of Fame class of 2021 Panini trading cards. Should I open them?
And it's only because he said don't open them.
Pretty much.
See, I'll tell you this.
But I questioned whether or not I should open them when I got them, because in talking to Paul long enough, I realized the value of cards in mint condition. So I asked, and I thought he was going to say, well, they're kind of worthless. So if you want to see one, go for it. Otherwise it's going to end up in a drawer, and I'm going to forget that I have these until the next time I move.
Exactly. But little piece of advice for you. Just do with it what you will. I've got, remember the old Dream Team cups from McDonald's that they gave away of the original Dream Team back in Barcelona?
Yeah.
I looked those up the other day on eBay. I've got the complete set that's going for about $100.
Really?
Yeah. And that's just cups from McDonald's. And
you haven't sold them yet? Why?
I still got them. I like them.
I mean, again, do you use them?
I do not. That's the thing. They're still in great condition. They haven't been through the washing machine. They're not faded. They're not.
Are they on display somewhere?
They're back at my parents' house.
Okay, so your mom's house in your room that hasn't changed since you graduated high school in the late 90s, right?
Basically.
All right, cool. Next to your soccer trophies and stuff?
Yeah,
perfect. $100 for some plastic cups.
And
sell them.
There was an unopened video game that just sold for $2.4 million, becoming the highest grossing video game ever sold because it was an unopened Nintendo 64 game, Mario 64, which isn't even the best 64 game. And it became the highest grossing video game ever sold because it was unopened.
That's incredible. I mean, I think about...
You don't know how things are going to age.
Well, and again, it only has that value if somebody's willing to pay you for it.
Sure.
I think about the Wheaties boxes that I have kept through the years from Cowboys Super Bowl wins. So that cereal's unedible at this point. But the boxes have value. And I've got some of the old Pepsi bottles with the Cowboys Super, and I've seen those on eBay, and I thought, man, I should sell these, right? I mean, it's, I'm still waiting to see what the value is going to happen with these Slam Dunkin' O's that I bought because I tried to eat some of those, and, well, that's better as a memorabilia piece than it was a breakfast cereal. So, but I do have a box of the Slam Dunkin' O's that is unopened. And you look at it and you think about it, it's only valuable if you can find somebody that's going to buy them. The crazy thing is somebody out there will. See, right now, this package of cards worth about $8 on eBay. But I saw like some of the individual cards are going for like $2. Well, do the math. If I opened it up and sold them separately, I'd make more money.
Now.
Yeah. Well, as long as the Peyton Manning is in here, I think it will hold value. Because if you go try to buy something on the Pro Football Hall of Fame site, and if you watch the NFL Network, you see a commercial about buying stuff from them every 3 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that all they're doing all that money does go back to the Hall of Fame, so I'm not bagging on them too much for some of the stuff. But they've got the Peyton Manning collection than everybody else. Like, they got a gazillion things with Peyton as a Colt and as a Bronco for sale. and then you have everybody else. And then when they send you whatever you ordered, and I find this kind of comical, and so the thing it's a coupon, right? It's 20% off of what else you might want. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll let me see what else I can get. Then it not only is it 20% off, but it's free shipping on orders of more than $50. It's hard to get on there and not spend $50, right? Just use HOF721 at checkout. There's your coupon code, right? Offer valid till 8/31, not valid on class of 2021 gear. Well, that's what I want, is the new guy stuff. I mean, isn't that kind of a cheesy way to try to get you to go on there and spend more money to buy stuff from years ago that's still overpriced?
In terms of your cards, just hold on to them, because there's always somebody that wants to buy them. People are buying NFTs right now, which are non-fungible tokens, which aren't even a real thing.
True. And
cryptocurrency.
And I still don't understand the NFTs. I really don't understand the NFTs. They make no sense to me that you would buy something that isn't real. I mean, that's like that artist who sold his sculpture for, I think, $18,000.
I remember that.
And it was invisible.
Mm-hmm.
You had to use your imagination. You basically bought a pedestal for $18,000 with this sculpture. See, I made a painting. It's hanging on my wall over there because we haven't decided. We've lived in this house a year and a half, and we can't agree on what's going to go on that wall. So it's just a wonderful invisible piece. It's whatever you think it is. It's fantastic. If you want one, I'll sell it to you. I'll go get a frame. Go down to Hobby Lobby, because their frames are always 50% off, and I'll just tell you whatever you think it is, and try to make some money that way. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Big game for the Dallas Cowboys tonight as they get preseason game number 2. And I say big game because bigger than the Hall of Fame game. And in a lot of ways, their first preseason game. We didn't know it at the time, but Mike McCarthy has kind of shared since that the player snap counts against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Hall of Fame game were limited greatly by design, knowing that they had that scrimmage against the Rams on Saturday. So that game was on Thursday night. After the Thursday night game in Canton, they flew back to California, got back to the hotel about 5 a.m. on Friday, and then on Saturday, they scrimmaged the Rams. And so Mike McCarthy held back a lot of guys because he wanted them to get work in the controlled scrimmage against the Rams versus the preseason game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, because there was a lot of questions about why this guy didn't get more time. Why didn't that guy get more time? You would think a lot of those players would have gotten more time than they actually did. But the ones that are likely to be key contributors, they were saved for the Rams. So I do expect guys like Micah Parsons and Randy Gregory to get plenty of time tonight. Randy Gregory didn't play at all against the Pittsburgh Steelers, or some of the offensive linemen that I think is defense aside, because we know the defense needs work and there's going to be a lot of battles going on in the secondary. But when I think about one of the biggest question marks for that Cowboys offense is swing tackle. Who is going to be the backup swing tackle? You've got 3 guys that are battling for that job, whether it's Ty Nsekhe, Terrence Steele, or Brandon Knight. Because you cannot count on 17 games for Tyron Smith. And you've heard me say that a bunch. So I looked it up. The last time Tyron Smith played every game was 2015. But when I looked up his games played and games started stats, he actually hasn't missed as much time as I thought. I mean, in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, those 4 seasons, he played 13 games. 13 out of 16. I feel like he missed way more time than that. Last year, he only played in 2 games. But to think you're going to get 17 games out of Tyron Smith, you're crazy. That backup swing tackle position is so important. And we spend a lot of time talking about Ty Nsekhe and Terrence Steele. But Brandon Knight, according to Pro Football Focus, graded out really well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. La'el Collins graded better than him. And Brandon Knight was playing well last year until he got hurt. And he's the guy that nobody's talking about. Ty Inseki is the veteran guy that they brought in. Terrence Steele got better as the season went on last year as a rookie out of Steele High School and Texas Tech. And then you've got Brandon Knight. You've got three guys competing for that swing tackle. Who's going to provide that depth? Because it's not when or if. It's not if Tyron Smith gets hurt, it's when. But none of those three guys separated themselves the other night against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And quite frankly, I don't know that any of those three guys have separated themselves at camp. Coaches are high on the progress that Terrence Steele has made, but it hasn't been enough to solidify that job. And depth on the offensive line, as we saw last year, is of grave concern because now last year was, Tyron and LC and then Zach and then Brandon. I mean, those guys never played together. But seeing especially a guy like Ty Inseki, the veteran guy, who was awful against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he has to play well tonight. Has to. And it's not often you say, man, who are you watching tonight? I got to see the offensive lineman do something. There is a great job up for grabs. Which one of those guys is going to grab it? And don't be surprised if it ends up being Brandon Knight, the one nobody's talking about. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Two other games tonight, 3 total on the schedule, then a bunch of games coming up over the weekend. We'll talk more preseason football as we continue here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Watching all these preseason games, start taking notes, thinking about who you're going to take in your fantasy drafts, especially as the drafts get deeper and you're later in the rounds. And another great way to practice your fantasy drafting is at UnderdogFantasy.com. Jason Minix here. Underdog Fantasy is the best new place to play fantasy sports. They have daily and season-long fantasy sports. The NFL best ball format, which is a fun way to play. It's easy. No waivers, no trades. You just draft, set it, and forget it. And it's a great way to practice drafting before you draft for your home league. And it's also a good way to draft riskier players since you don't have to worry about having them on your bench if they have a huge week. At Underdog Fantasy, they already have contests for the 2021 NFL season live, including the Best Ball Mania 2 tournament, which is the largest tournament in fantasy football. $25 to enter, $3.5 million in total prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code RADIO to make your first deposit, and you'll receive a free $25 in bonus cash. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store and register with promo code RADIO to get $25 cash for free with your first deposit. Download the app today. Start playing today. And don't forget, enter promo code RADIO at sign-up. Terms and conditions do apply. If you don't like it, they guarantee your money back up to $100. Download the app today. Play online, UnderdogFantasy.com. Let's get a Sports Center update with James Pledger. What's the latest on the headlines, Pledge?
Thanks a lot, Jason. Well, we'll start off with the NFL, as you were talking about fantasy football, because the Cowboys are in action tonight for their second preseason game as they take on the Cardinals in Arizona. Kickoff set for 9 o'clock. And it's a game you can catch right here on your home for Dallas Cowboys football, San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 8 with the pregame. The Houston Texans play their first preseason game tomorrow as they'll be in Green Bay to take on the Packers. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And speaking of the Texans, left tackle Laramie Tunsil, tackle Roderick Johnson, and offensive lineman Titus Howard have all been placed on the COVID-19 reserve list with 1 positive and 2 high-risk close contacts. This, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs get a few days to relish their first Summer League win after they beat the Hornets yesterday. 106-105, led by Tre Jones, 34 points that included the game-winning shot and the game-winning steal, as he also recorded 9 assists and 8 rebounds in the win. Spurs return to action on Sunday at 5 when they take on the Brooklyn Nets. Finally, in Major League Baseball, the Rangers look to bounce back after dropping their series with the Mariners yesterday as they return home to open up a series with the Oakland A's with first pitch set for 7:05. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
According to TxDOT, on average, 1 motorcyclist dies every day on Texas roads. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Yeah! Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Calling all commissioners. Book your fantasy draft with Twin Peaks and receive the sweetest perks. Commissioners get $50 to Twin Peaks just for hosting with us, and all league members get $5. Free Wi-Fi, draft boards, and stickers upon request. It's all at Twin Peaks.
This is The Blitz with Jason Minix and the brightest sports insiders. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing as always. Cowboys at Cardinals tonight. A game you can listen to right here on at San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 8 o'clock with the pregame. Kickoff is at 9 o'clock. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I've got a couple things. The guys that I'm going to be watching on the field and seeing if I can see my daughter in the crowd and make sure she's not doing anything dumb while she's there. You know, it's kind of the cool thing about having a kid going to college at Arizona State. And it is a proud dad moment when your kid calls and it's like, can you get me tickets to the game? Her and her friend Bianca are going to the game tonight. They're both from Texas, living out there. And I was like, as long as you don't wear anything J.J. Watt, I'm fine with that because, you know, she's got this obsession with him. Although, to my knowledge, doesn't own anything with 99 on it in Cardinals gear. She does have some Texan stuff. But I got her cheap ticket. She's in section 440. I doubt she makes it on to the television.
Unless she makes it onto the field to try and say hi to J.J. Watt.
You know, when she interned with me at Texans training camp a few years ago and was about 6 feet away, I would be a little concerned about that. I mean, honestly, to be 100% honest, and the devastation that we were supposed to interview JJ that day, and he got hurt in practice, and it got canceled. And I thought there was near tears from the kiddo that we weren't going to get to interview JJ Watt that particular day. But I look at there's 3 games on the schedule tonight. Bills and Lions is going to be interesting just because you get to see if Coach Campbell's going to bite any kneecaps, and but I don't know who's playing for the Lions. And the Bills, all right, Falcons, Titans, same kind of thing. There's not a lot of sexy there. Last night there was some intrigue in the New England game just because you had Mac Jones play well. He looks the part. I still wish he was wearing jersey number 50. I really wish Bill Belichick wouldn't have changed his jersey number on game day. But he went out and he played well. But it was 5 drives. Cam Newton went out and played well. I don't think there's that much of a quarterback competition going on in New England. It is Cam's job. It is Cam's job to lose. I will say that. I don't think Mac Jones will beat him out. But if he doesn't play well, Mac Jones will get there. When you think about all the incentives in Cam Newton's contract, at some point you wonder if Mr. Kraft makes a decision on Cam Newton and how many games he plays, because there is a lot of money riding on Cam Newton's incentives on his contract. But I'm looking forward to Saturday. There are a ton of games on Saturday. The Dolphins and Bears, right off the bat, you look at the 2 quarterbacks there, Tua and the progress that he's made if he gets to play, but all the stuff that you're hearing out of Chicago with Justin Fields. And it's interesting when you think about coaches protecting players from themselves. But when you hear, and I spend a lot of my time watching the NFL Network during the day, the amount of the Bears veterans players that talk about how great Justin Fields is, it's as if that guy's already won the locker room. I don't know if Nagy could just roll out Andy Dalton at this point. If Justin Fields looks good in the preseason, he's going to end up winning that starting job. Broncos and Vikings. Vikings have $3 tickets. You want to go see a bad football team play? Go right ahead. Saints and Ravens. Again, who ends up being the quarterback for the Saints? Part of me says it's a no-brainer. It's got to be Jameis Winston. It wasn't that long ago he was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Will we see Taysom Hill? Absolutely. But with what we've seen from Taysom Hill, does he look like an every-down quarterback? Would you go with him as an every-down quarterback? I don't know that I would. The Jaguars, Urban Meyer's first game as an NFL head coach. He says, if you believe him, and you shouldn't, that there is a true quarterback competition going on between Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence. The battle of the New York teams, Jets and Giants, Bengals and Buccaneers. Tom Brady is going to play. What I find interesting with that one, that game is scheduled for Saturday night in Tampa, but there is a tropical storm that's about to hit Florida, so they might move that game up. All the debate on whether or not a quarterback needs to play in the preseason, the varying philosophies is pretty incredible. You look at the Rams and Sean McVay says Stafford will never play in the preseason. Yet you got, 55-year-old Tom Brady out there who's going to play. Tom Brady's going to play. Why is Tom Brady playing in the preseason and that's okay? But so many people are worried about all these other quarterbacks. And Tom Brady said he'd play the whole game if coach would let him. But what does Tom Brady gain out of playing in this preseason game? It's mind-boggling. Chiefs and 49ers should be interesting. Seahawks, Raiders should be an interesting preseason game on Saturday. Chargers, Rams. I mean, there's some good matchups. The problem with these matchups is you don't really know who is going to be playing in a lot of these games, but you do want to get the first looks at guys. Panthers and Colts should be interesting when you look at the various quarterbacking. I want to watch the Colts game just to see how Sam Ehlinger looks as an NFL quarterback. I mean, Carson Wentz seems to be getting healthy in a hurry. That 5 to 12 week window is looking closer to 5 than 12. But is Sam Ehlinger actually going to play in the NFL in his rookie season, in the regular season? We'll see him in the preseason, see if he's ready, see how comfortable he looks. Because I think that's the one big takeaway I took from Mac Jones last night with New England. He looked comfortable. Garrett Gilbert didn't look as comfortable as you would have hoped for the Cowboys last week against Pittsburgh. How comfortable does Garrett Gilbert look tonight? And when you think about comfortable, you talk about happy feet in the pocket, making all the right reads at the line of scrimmage, making the proper checkdowns. Mac Jones did all that last night. He looked very comfortable for New England. And when you look at all the other rookie quarterbacks, they're all going to get compared to what they saw from Mac Jones. I mean, that guy was throwing dimes last night. Had a couple of drops, one long one that, his accuracy level. And I think sometimes when you look at an Alabama quarterback, especially him, and the wide receivers that he was throwing to, was it his success as quarterback because of all the NFL types he was throwing to? It's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. And Pledge, we will talk about the Texans and Packers, but let's go to the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines first. John wants to talk about the Cowboys. See, every time we talk Texans, we end up diverting. It's in the manual. 656 ESPN 656-3776. John, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, Jason, you kind of hinted on what I was going to ask you about Gilbert. He definitely did not seem very comfortable in that first preseason game. And kind of with Dak's shoulder issue and, everyone not really 100% sure about the ankle, why do you think they wouldn't go out and get one of these other quarterbacks that's, more like a veteran leader like we had with Dalton last year? I think Chicago's got Dalton, Fields, and then they even got Foles. Wouldn't you think someone like a Foles would be someone to come in and be as a little insurance policy in case Dak does go down?
John, it's a great question and thought process, but the financial aspect of everything is going to come into play. Foles' contract is too much. So the Cowboys aren't going to try to absorb that salary for an insurance policy. The Dalton would make more sense if Fields ends up getting the starting job, because Andy Dalton, while making more than they want to spend for a backup quarterback with that one-year contract he signed in Chicago, if something were to happen with Dak, at least Andy Dalton understands and knows the offense and does have chemistry with all of those guys, whether you're talking about Zeke, whether you're talking about Amari or CeeDee Lamb or Michael Gallup, or, and Andy Dalton did not play as bad last year as he did. But you look at the offensive line that he was playing behind. He didn't have the full healthy offensive line. And I think that's one of the reasons why they went and got him. The other part of me says, we saw last year without Dak, it doesn't matter. How much money are you willing to spend on a backup quarterback? There's been times you go back to the Tony Romo days where Jerry did spend a lot of money on a backup quarterback because he knew at some point Tony Romo is going to get hurt. And so you better have a quarterback to go. And what did those guys do? Whether you think about Orton or Brad Johnson or, and none of them could win. None of them won. So it didn't matter if you had the best insurance policy or if you went with, a low rent insurance policy. It almost didn't matter. Last year they had a veteran in Andy Dalton, mainly because it fell in their lap. Cincinnati released him. He lives in Dallas in the offseason. He was cheap for Andy Dalton with a lot of incentives, and Dak got hurt. The ankle is fine. And everybody tells you that the shoulder is fine. The people that I have talked to personally that work for the Cowboys, my guys, nobody seems to be overly worried about the shoulder soreness. And Garrett Gilbert did not look as comfortable last week against Pittsburgh. And that's what I want to see tonight against the Arizona Cardinals and next week against the Houston Texans, because he is QB2 right now. It ain't Cooper Rush, and it sure as hell isn't Ben DiNucci. But Garrett Gilbert does look like the guy that could be your serviceable backup quarterback. And the other guys that are free agents floating around, RG3, are you better off with RG3 or Garrett Gilbert? Doesn't matter. But when you look at the contract that Foles has and the contract that Andy Dalton has, it almost eliminates the idea of bringing those guys in unless it becomes a desperate situation and Dak has surgery and is going to miss the season.
And also on top of that, keep an eye on August 31st because that's when cut day is, and that's when you'll see movement, I think. They're going to use these preseason games to gauge what they have in Cooper Rush and what they have in Garrett Gilbert. And if they have to make a move after roster cuts are trimmed down, that's when they'll make a move, I think, because there's a good chance that Chicago's not carrying both of those quarterbacks into the regular season.
I agree. And again, I mean, they're not going to carry three. We know that, especially with the amount of money they have. And I do think, and you're right, cut down day is going to make a major influence on it. They're not going to do it now because they don't need to do it now. If Dak was serious, if the injury was serious, I mean, serious, they would make a move now. The fact that they haven't tells you, all right, and you kind of go back to when Romo got hurt, and it was 5 years ago. Romo got hurt, Kellen Moore snapped his leg, and they said they were comfortable going with this rookie fourth-round pick named Prescott. And that worked out pretty damn good. Because at the time, Nick Foles was available. Like, why aren't we bringing in Nick?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about all the things and they kept saying, we're fine. We got this kid. We like what we're seeing out of him. If there was concern, they would have made a move. And Garrett Gilbert, watching him in practice when we were in Oxnard, looks like he's a legit backup quarterback and could be a legit NFL quarterback over time. You look at what he did with the Orlando Apollos in the Alliance League. Dude lit it up. Once he's comfortable, I think he's going to be fine. Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, coached him up with Orlando. You see some of that. I need to see more of that in this game coming up. But also, I mean, look at some of the receivers that he was playing with, some of the drops that were there. But I want to see a comfortable-looking Garrett Gilbert tonight against Arizona. I think a guy that looks like he's in control and command of that offense. That's what we need to see.
And remember, that year when Kellen Moore broke his leg right in front of you at Cowboys training camp,
I heard
going into that, y'all were talking about how inaccurate Dak looked. Like he hit one and then the next one's 10 yards over the receiver's head. So the Cowboys obviously saw something during that time that made them feel comfortable going in with Dak Prescott regardless.
Well,
might be the same thing with Garrett Gilbert.
If you remember, though, and I mean, Dak always looked good early on, but, he was competing with Jamil Showers for QB3. I mean, you go back and you think about those training camp days, but as soon as he started working with the ones, he took control of things. And one of the things about Dak is his natural leadership abilities. And it's interesting, Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, if you saw this yesterday on the NFL Network, they're doing a conversation across the fence with the social distancing that you've heard us all talking about. And there was one little piece of sound that Mike McCarthy just kind of threw out, a story that he told about Dak Prescott. And it tells you about the guy, tells you about the leader.
We had our first group dynamic, I think it was Jeopardy or Family Feud, but there's pizza and candy and stuff all over. But when the event was over, Dak started picking up all the candy, all the garbage, and then Zeke was right there with them. And then next, 5 more guys start helping. Then there was 10, there was 15, and just little things like that. I just think it speaks to him as a person, and it also speaks to his teammates.
And in a lot of ways, doesn't that remind you of Tim Duncan? Getting coached up and yelled at by Greg Popovich. And if Pop can yell at Timmy, he's going to be able to yell at you and you're going to get there. And we've all seen people like that, rich, entitled guys that don't pick things up. I think about, an interview years ago, Ricky Williams eats half a banana and leaves it down because he knows his housekeeper's going to pick it up. Just stuff like that, where you got Dak starting to clean up the pizza. I mean, guy just signed a $160 million contract. He just got a $13,000 suitcase as a gift from Zeke. But he's the one picking up the pizza boxes, not waiting for the ball boys or whoever, the cleaning staff. And he starts picking up. And what does everybody else do? They follow along line and they start picking up the trash. I thought that was an incredible story. But you saw that early on. As soon as Dak took over as the quarterback, he has that ability to get guys to follow him. It really is incredible. We'll talk some Texans coming up. Not good news for Deshaun Watson. Not good news for Deshaun Watson and court proceedings that could be coming his way. We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz. But first, let me tell you about my friends over at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck. If you're shopping for a new vehicle, there's no better place to go than Ancira. And I can tell you firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer. I've bought many cars from Ancira through the years, and it's because of how well they take care of you before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That great customer service is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades, nearly 50 years. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available. And price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
The Dallas Cowboys travel to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals in preseason action. Tonight, coverage starts at 8 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
When my husband started having trouble in the bedroom, I thought, is it me?
But then we found forhims.com, and now our sex life is
better than ever.
Forhims.com connects you to doctors online who can prescribe FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. Then, Hims ships right to your door in discreet packaging. Just go to forhims.com/better to get your first visit free.
It was great to get what I need online without scheduling an appointment or going into the doctor's office.
Hims offers the same active ingredient as name brands and costs 90% less.
I couldn't believe how fast, easy, and inexpensive it was.
Rise to the occasion or get your money back. Go to forhims.com/better to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to forhims.com/better. forhims.com/better.
At CDW, we get that a cyborg assistant won't make your employees more productive from home.
Please, call me Brian. I can vacuum your dog.
That's great. But at CDW, we can design a productivity solution with Lenovo devices that offer fast, reliable connectivity to help your people manage their workloads the right way.
Can I have a human hug?
No. For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo client.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance blokes fetching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are its 4 C's: cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. The third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, special, and rare as every diamond in our showcase. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
The Sunday Sports Grill. Sundays 11 till 1 with Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 AM and 94.5 FM.
Watch how the mic explode, hot.
Hey, it's Max Kellerman. Listen weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You know, as the Houston Texans get ready for their preseason opener tomorrow night against the Green Bay Packers, they've had to put a couple of guys on the COVID list, including Laramie Tunsil. Yeah, a lot of offensive line depth issues going on in Houston because 3 offensive linemen are out because of COVID. And their 4th-string quarterback probably didn't even get on the plane, although the Texans won't tell us. But there is some Deshaun Watson news. Sports Illustrated talked to 2 of the accusers, 2 of the 22. And they're not happy with the NFL investigators. They tell Sports Illustrated that Houston Police Department let them tell their stories kind of uninterrupted. The NFL investigators were, quote, patronizing and victim blaming. In fact, one of the accusers, Ashley Solis, said that during the interview with the NFL investigators, the interviewer stopped her mid-story and asked her what was she wearing when performing the massage. It's not a good look for Roger Goodell, and neither of these 2 ladies are happy that Deshaun Watson is in the news or that he's at practice. It's almost as if, as they tell Sports Illustrated, the NFL doesn't give a damn. On the flip side, Mark Berman from the Fox TV affiliate in Houston is reporting that grand jury subpoenas are getting sent out. So it does look like of the 10 that we know of that have filed criminal, there are now a grand jury is going to start investigating and hearing stuff with the Deshaun Watson. And of the 10 or so, there's only a handful that use the word forcible, but it only takes one. It only takes one to get a conviction. You wonder how long Roger Goodell is going to continue to let Deshaun Watson show up for training camp. How long is Roger Goodell going to wait before putting him on the commissioner's list? I thought the whole reason for the commissioner's list was for situations like this. You don't have to have a conviction. You don't have to get arrested. You just have to have something that's embarrassing to the NFL, and they need you to go away for a while until it all gets worked out. I appreciate Deshaun Watson and his camp for showing up every day so he doesn't get fined, for doing what he's supposed to do. It's time for the NFL to do what they're supposed to do. And that's put Deshaun Watson on the paid list, go take care of your business, let it get resolved, and then the Texans and the NFL can figure out what's next. But this article in Sports Illustrated, if the NFL is conducting their investigation this way, shameful. Shameful. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com will join us next here on The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star. But before we go to break, we've got some WWE Raw tickets to give away. You want to go see Monday Night Raw at the AT&T Center this Monday night? Be caller number 6 right now at 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 6, you're going to see wrestling on Monday night. RJ Ochoa next here on The Blitz.
It's football, and not the Europe kind. You know, the one where they use their feet in conjunction with the ball.
Prescott will give it a Zeke, starts up the middle, bounces left.
But they also use their feet, but they use their hands as well.
30, 20, and 10, and touchdown.
What am I talking about? Oh, yeah, the American kind. Dallas Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
For your free quote, call 1-800-519-0449. That's 1-800-519-0449. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-519-0449.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
Twin Peaks is adding one of the most well-kept secrets in all the beer community to select Texas drink menus. Yes, Yuengling Traditional Lager is here. Starting August the 11th, participating Twin Peaks lodges will serve that coveted Northeastern Premium Lager at a perfect 29 degrees. In addition to its scenic views and those made-from-scratch menus, Yuengling Traditional Lager pairs perfectly with Twin Peaks Nashville Hot Chicken and, those hand-smashed and seared burgers and those great new loaded fries. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and, those scenic views.
O'Reilly. Do you even remember the last time you changed your spark plugs? Well, then now's a good time. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase 4 or more select Iridium spark plugs. Put the pep back in your car. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At CDW, we get the people who need to sign here aren't always here.
Tell me about it. I'm always chasing down signatures. I go through pens and shoes like chewing gum.
Sounds like you need Adobe Sign orchestrated by CDW to securely automate e-signatures and workflows across devices from anywhere. Integrating with existing tools, Sign can save your organization time, money, and miles.
Thank goodness. I can finally take these shoes off.
No. Back on. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Adobe Sign.
Don't get caught in this San Antonio heat with no AC. Save Service First AC repair in your phone and have an AC tech on speed dial 24/7. 521-1500. For a limited time, save Service First AC repair in your contacts and get half off your service call and a free summer tune-up. For more details, call 521-1500. That's 521-1500. Service First AC repair and plumbing.
Have Service First in your phone. 521-1500.
License number TACLA 27100C.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KCDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Friday edition with Cowboys football on tonight. Yeah, get some Cowboys football going. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com and our original Rock the Mic champion joining us now. And if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook Live, RJ's done some decorating in the home office. He finally filled the gap space in his shelving behind him with what looks like a great photo of Emmitt Smith. What took so long to finally fill that spot there was just empty for so long. It was missing something. I'm glad that you have completed that. My my brain just always had issues with that open space.
It's great to be with you guys. Hope your week's going well. Hope you have a fun weekend in store. Yes, my wife had been on me to fill the case. My mom got on me to fill the case. Everybody. But I reached a new low because last week, I'm really grateful to anybody who will let me talk about anything on the radio. I was on with our friend Paul Catalina, who asked me about the space. And I realized at that point, if Paul's asking me about this thing, I got to do something. But you might not be able to see this. Right next to the Emmett photo is this bad boy. This actually happened. I don't know if you know your ESPN San Antonio history, Jason. 5 years ago yesterday. So happy anniversary to us.
Really? 5 years ago yesterday. See, you didn't share that on your Facebook memories. See, I know earlier in the week, Michael Jimenez shared his memories from 2 years ago. So I knew it was somewhere right about. Have you finished the Wingstop yet, by the way?
I have about a year ago. So it took a long time. I didn't get a scooter like one winter. I just got a pathway to, some cholesterol issues. So it is what it is.
Some people ended up with koozies. So, I mean, the fact that you've got, a gazillion dollars worth of Wingstop is there. Before we talk about tonight's game, while we're talking about just general guy stuff, I want to get your thoughts on something. The Pro Football Hall of Fame just happened. Drew Pearson goes in. I'm a huge fan of Drew Pearson, so I order a shirt from the Pro Football Hall of Fame that I wanted to wear on Sunday while he was getting inducted. So I get the mail, and it's Friday right before the Hall of Fame weekend, and this is the shirt that arrives from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it's a Calvin Johnson shirt. They screwed up. Now, I'm looking at going, all right, the receipt thingamajigger says Drew Pearson. It's all there. So Monday, I call the Hall of Fame. I call the 800 number that comes with it if you've got a problem with your order, and I tell them what happened. And they said, we'll fix that. I'll get a shirt right now, and it'll come in the mail. So what do I do with this one? They said, well, give it to somebody. I don't know a Lions fan. Not one. I don't know anybody that wants this shirt. I've mentioned this on the radio 2 or 3 times, and nobody has tried to claim it. That, yeah, I'll take the free shirt. So today in the mail, I finally get my Drew Pearson Hall of Fame shirt, right? And it just looks so much better. It's the right blue, it's the right size and all that. But in the package, the guy threw in a package of Hall of Fame Panini trading cards. So now I've got the debate. Should I open this package or leave them sealed?
I don't, first of all, know why anybody doesn't want that shirt. Calvin Johnson's literally a Hall of Famer. That's a cool shirt to have, regardless of what team you support. Second of all, I would be insulted.
Would you wear it?
I would totally. I have a Warren Moon shirt from the Hall of Fame. I would wear anything from a Hall of Famer. They're Hall of Famers. They're the greatest players that ever lived. I would absolutely wear it.
So you're saying I should keep the shirt?
You should keep it, and you should wear it. Absolutely. Like, maybe it's not your, like you're going to the best place in town shirt, but like, you're outside, you're chilling.
I don't even know if I would use it to cut the grass. I don't know that. I honestly, and part of it is like if he would have helped me win money in a fantasy league, I'd wear it. Right? Yeah. There's just something to that. It's, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think you're wrong. Also, I think you should open the cards right now. Like, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, I think you should open the cards this second right now and see who's in there.
Well, I'm guessing it's the class of 2021 because that's what it says on the package. So I have an idea of who's in it. See, Pledge doesn't think I should open them because in 25 years, they might be worth something. I called Paul Cavazos over at House of Cards and Collectibles, and he said, don't open them. And because of that, I want to open them even more.
I think you should open them. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think you're going to know where they are in 25 years. All right. I mean, that's, that's a long time from now.
The idea of if I don't open them, they're going to end up in a drawer and I won't see them again until the next time I move. If I open them, they're probably going to end up in a drawer and I won't see them again until the next time I move.
I say open them. I say live. You got to do one thing. You got to either keep the shirt and wear it, or you got to open the cards. So the choice is yours, but you have to do one of those two things.
All right. At the end of the segment, I'll decide, and I'll let people comment, and I'll let them decide. Alex on Facebook Live says, leave them sealed. Should I open them? Should I leave them sealed? Tweet me at Jason Minix or leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube Live. Let's talk about the game tonight. Cowboys against the Arizona Cardinals. You can listen to it right here on San Antonio Sports Star starting at 8 o'clock as we visit with RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. When you think about a preseason game, it's all about position battles. I said earlier in the show, I want to see one of those swing tackles play well. Ty Nsekhe was brought in as the veteran guy. Terrence Steele, rave reviews when we were out in Oxnard. Brandon Knight might have played the best game, not namely Al Collins, last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Tyron Smith is not going to give you 17 games. I went back and looked, and he has not played a full season since 2015, although, and I'm glad you know that just off the top of your head, Rain Man, although, honestly, he's missed less time than I thought. When I pulled up his games started and games played, until last year, from 16, 17, 18, and 19, he played 13 of the 16. Last year, he only played a couple. But it feels like he's missed more time than that.
Yeah, well, so he's generally good to miss about 3 games a season. The unfortunate part is like they've generally been like devastating 3 games. Like in 2017, the game against Atlanta, and then he missed the game against Philly and the game against the Chargers, and the Cowboys have just been inept. We have not seen this version of Dak Prescott, this evolved, this more mentally sophisticated version of Dak Prescott without Tyron Smith, because Dak kind of became that guy over the course of the 2018 to 19 seasons. And so we've always seen Tyron there. We didn't get to see it last year, but yeah, you're like people love to kind of paint that stat and be like, he's missed X amount of games over the last 5 years. And it's like, yeah, well, that's heavily inflated by 2020. But yeah, like Dak has never, like that's what puts it in perspective for me. Dak has never played a full season with Tyron Smith at left tackle. So you're right. It's unfortunately a matter of when, not if. And it's a bummer because I know Ty Nsekhe and Terrence Steele are really popular guys in San Antonio. But yeah, they were both not the best version of themselves last week. And so that's, the Cowboys had a number of resources to use in free agency. And it was wise to go after Ty Nsekhe. But so far, and we are incredibly early in the process, it doesn't look like they have the most reliable plan B for when they have to enact it.
Because I know we can't count on Tyron Smith for 17. And, I know it's an NBA term for load management. I need him in December and January, not September. You know what I mean? But there has to be a legit backup swing tackle, I think, on this team. I mean, you think about all the points this offense can score, the idea of one guy getting hurt and things could derail things, and it's Tyron Smith. I don't know that I'm worried about Tyron and Lyle and everybody getting hurt like last year, but if you don't have a solid backup for Tyron Smith, this offense is going to be in trouble.
Well, and I think especially this season in particular, when you look at, the end of the season, because that's when everybody's more sore. That's when everybody's everybody's nicked up to some degree there. Is starting in week 14, the Cowboys play 4 NFC East games in 5 weeks. And so, like, what if the run Tyron misses is that? Like, what if he misses 3 games and you have Washington, New York, Washington? I mean, those are far more consequential games than any other, random 3-game sample size earlier in the season. And so, and that comes right off the heels of Thanksgiving and then Thursday Night Football, that stretch where things are mushed together for the Cowboys. So you have to get through that just to be able to get to the important stretch. And so, yeah, I think if you ask me the number one thing I want to see tonight, I want to see Ty Nsekhe maul somebody. I want to see Ty Nsekhe look like a legitimate. I mean, I actually did a hit earlier today with ESPN Rochester. No big deal. I'm a popular guy in New York. And we were talking about Ty Nsekhe because they cover the Buffalo Bills there. And they said, you know what, like, we're not trying to, kind of add to your fears and your concerns, but he was kind of that guy down the stretch with Buffalo last season. And so we're not surprised to hear that. So that was a big bummer for me. Other than that, though, the days are going good.
It's interesting, though, because, there's a reason Buffalo was going to let him walk. And the fact that he's from the Dallas area, He wanted to come back and have the star in his helmet, and knowing he was coming in to be a backup, which was going to be easier on his body. While he is 35 years old, he went to a gazillion colleges and almost as many jails before he started his pro career playing in Arena 2. I mean, he's got an incredible story in his journey to where he is now. But the way he played against Pittsburgh, and I know one preseason game is not a big enough sample size, I watched that game and go, I don't know that Ty makes this team. Terrence Steele, their, coaches loving on him in the media. R&R in the morning had him on in Oxnard. He's playing well. But then I look at the Pro Football Focus grades, and Brandon Knight graded better than Ty. Lyle Collins graded better. And Terrence Steele and Brandon Knight were about the same. That's kind of scary, if you ask me.
It is, especially because Brandon Knight also saw some time at guard. So you're talking about a guy who's not even fully working a tackle is better than Ty Nsekhe at this point in time. It also this is more of a psychological thing, but a tackle being not serviceable, wearing number 79 just is, that's a trigger for me. You know what I mean? That's you're poking at scars. You know what I mean? You're pouring salt and wounds and attacking some of my deepest insecurities. And so it is a prevalent issue. It's right now, everyone is so concerned with Dak and the muscle strain and the MRI and blah, blah, blah. But outside of that stuff, that is seriously the top concern for the team entering tonight, I think.
He is RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com with us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star. Outside of the offensive line, on the offensive side, watching New England play last night and seeing how comfortable Mac Jones looked, and then thinking about last week and Garrett Gilbert, who played well, but he didn't look quite as comfortable, didn't look quite as in control. Do you need to see that level of control from your quarterback to feel comfortable with QB2 for Garrett Gilbert?
Yeah, although I think we've kind of seen it to the degree that I think we're satisfied with Garrett Gilbert. I mean, I'm not the biggest Garrett fan, but I've kind of accepted that he's QB2 for this team at this point. And so at this point, especially with Dak's situation, if you do find it to be troublesome, I don't even want Garrett Gilbert to play. I mean, Garrett has kind of proven himself to be separate from the bunch. But, I mean, yeah, it would be nice to see this from Cooper Rush or from Ben DiNucci, because those are the dudes I'm way more concerned about. And it's difficult to have two quarterbacks that are competent in the NFL. So many teams don't even have one. So maybe the Cowboys should consider themselves a bit fortunate that Garrett Gilbert is somewhat mediocre. So if you're asking for a third, you're being really greedy. But Ben DiNucci should be better than what he's been. I mean, I know he didn't have a preseason last year, but he's had opportunities. He's obviously had a preseason game now. I mean, this is an important night for Ben DiNucci. And it's important for a lot of people that he plays well, because we're not getting a chance to properly evaluate these receivers down the roster, the Malik Turners and Reggie Davises of the world, because Ben DiNucci is awful. I mean, to be kind. And so, I mean, we really need to see some sort of separation here, because if he's not, this guy was on the roster last year. He wasn't just on the practice squad. They carried him on the 53-man roster last year. And so I understand having a project and being interested in it, but you got to know when to fold him. And if Ben DiNucci doesn't show up tonight, I think that might be the end of his legitimate career with the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I think it's already over, although it won't be until August 31st on cut day, because they need the training camp arm and somebody to take all the hits in the fourth quarter. He's not long for the Dallas Cowboys. And quite frankly, you're right. It's unfortunate for a guy like Malik Turner, who's got to play better, because he's a guy that is going to end up being a core special teamer. But fumbling the ball last week, that doesn't help him. He's got, if Turner is on this team, it's because of special teams. He plays well enough, and certainly when we were in Oxnard, he was making a lot of plays, and with no Gallup and with no Amari Cooper, those guys got a lot more reps with the first and second teamers than you would normally expect them to do. But you can't fumble the ball in a preseason game. But he's one, if he makes the team, it's because he's kicking ass on special teams.
Yeah, and a lot of people tried to cape for him and say that, by the rule that we know it to be, it wasn't even a catch. But you're right. The fumble still stands. It's still bad no matter what. But I who I really want to see? I love Malik Turner, and I'm happy he's popped and happy he had that moment of the fumble aside. Simi Fehoko really hasn't shined. I mean, he athletically is such a beast, and I really thought we were going to be getting elite, or not elite, but like ball-in moments, like sick moments from him at camp, like kind of mossing people, and that hasn't happened. And so that's if there's a single play, I really thought that he was going to challenge Noah Brown for the 5th wide receiver spot on this team, but Noah has really kind of played well so far throughout camp and kind of locked that down. Maybe is even flirting with surpassing Cedric Wilson, although that feels like a stretch. And now Malik Turner's in this mix. So Simi Fajoko's job is not in jeopardy. But I would love to see him play well and separate himself, just because that hasn't happened. Plus, make number 81 great again among wide receivers. I really need that to happen.
RJ Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com with us here on the Blitz. Another guy that hasn't done much in camp and certainly didn't flash while we were in Oxnard, Jabril Cox. Didn't you expect more from him coming from a major university? And I know Micah Parsons is getting all the attention, and my goodness, he has earned every bit of it. I really thought Jabril Cox was a steal where they got him in the draft. Now it's looking like he got drafted right where he needed to get drafted. He's a guy that needs to flash in a preseason game.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's safe. Like, I know you're not saying that he's not, part of this team or anything, but he was regarded as the best coverage linebacker in the draft. And so I really thought, and it's been one preseason game, and it was the Hall of Fame game at that, but I really thought, or kind of still think, that we would be seeing, some interceptions from him, some deflected passes, things like that. And that just hasn't happened. But I mean, if there is somebody who I'm willing to afford a benefit of the doubt sort of towards, it's him, just because it is so difficult to get snaps there because they have so many people. There's so many bodies that are taking spots at linebacker. So, I mean, he really has to pop during the preseason, especially the earlier preseason games like this one, because he's not going to get an opportunity when the starters start to play.
Well, no, and again, I even think like Luke Gifford seems to be making more of a splash at linebacker than Jabril Cox, and maybe that's my expectations for Gifford weren't quite as high, because I thought Jabril and Micah Parsons coming in were going to be a force to challenge Leighton and Jalen, and Jabril just hasn't lived up to the billing. Randy Gregory playing tonight, I'm very curious to see how many snaps he gets and how he looks, because in training camp, and again, one of those things when you're out there watching in Oxnard, you see how many plays he disrupted, but he's not blowing up the running back. He's not blowing up the quarterback. So he's not making your Sports Center highlights or your local TV news highlights because of the position. But we watched that guy disrupt a lot of offensive plays when we were in Oxnard.
Yeah, you mentioned the New England game last night. Chase Young really got after Cam Newton early on in that game, and I'd love to see a moment like that from Randy Gregory. I've been a little bit more, is it bullish? I actually feel I've recently been corrected. I think bullish means you're in favor of something. So I don't know if that term is correct or not, but I'm not totally certain. So that's a different discussion for a different day. But I've been a little bit more hesitant to buy into Randy Gregory than most. Not that I don't believe in him, right? I mean, I love that the Cowboys have supported him and been through him with this entire process, and I'm happy to see these opportunities finally be here. But the guy hasn't played, in forever. And so I've just been more skeptical than most. And so the fact that he has been balling and dominating throughout camp to this point is really interesting and really encouraging. And so I really want to see that proof of concept. I mean, I think it's there. I'm ready to believe. I'm ready to buy in. I'm ready to be sold on this. But I really, really want to see it against somebody that isn't his own team.
Well, and that's kind of it. He seems to have earned the trust of the Cowboy coaches. I don't know that he's earned the trust of the Cowboy fans because we just haven't seen it yet. They're around him every day, but I'm with you. I'm not ready to go 100% all in, but it certainly seems like all the coaches and everything in Dallas are putting a lot of responsibility on one Randy Gregory. He is RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. You have an interesting article, which is one of those articles at bloggingtheboys.com, and they just kind of piss me off anyway. I don't care who writes them. Cowboys made a push for Patrick Peterson. I hate reading about what we didn't do, especially when I don't get the reason why we didn't do it. There's been other, safeties and whatnot that that guy wants 10, 12 million. Okay, well, I understand that. And reading today about the push, and I don't know how they didn't push very hard because, I look at the contract that he signed, a one-year deal with Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings, and go, well, how did the Cowboys not do that? How hard did they make the push?
Yeah, so this was interesting. Dan Pompei in The Athletic had a huge write-up, and really it was kind of a defamation of Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim within the Arizona Cardinals. Patrick Peterson is pissed that they let him go, was really upset, talked about the disrespect, said that they didn't even like text him or let him know that they weren't planning on re-signing him. But
Crazy.
yeah, the first team he mentioned was the Cowboys that made a push. He mentioned the San Francisco 49ers and said there was conversation with the Philadelphia Eagles. And the part that struck me was that all it took was like a phone call from Mike Zimmer to sell him on joining the Minnesota Vikings. It's like, man, if this dude was that quick to jump, I mean, why were Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys not in on it? Now, the one thing I thought about, you mentioned safety. He's playing corner, with Minnesota. And so maybe the Cowboys did view him as somebody they wanted to kick out to safety. Maybe he's not ready for that at this stage in his career. But, I mean, ultimately, I do think this maybe worked out well because, again, he is upset. Like, if you read the whole article in The Athletic, he has been in Arizona for the last 10 years. He sold his house. He moved completely. I mean, that's a great place to live. I mean, ask Bryce Butler. I know you know. I mean, and he was like, yeah, I can't wait for all the weather and elements. And it's like, dude, we've been there. It is not fun.
Good luck.
Yeah. And he was like, I can't wait to go ice fishing. It's like, you know what's more fun than that? Golf. Like 10 out of 10 times.
Although when it's 117 degrees at 10 a.m., golf isn't as fun as you think it is.
That's true. But my point is, if he really is that, I love Patrick Peterson. He's been one of my favorite players for the last decade. But if he is that, way where he can be that pissed off, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to not be connected to it. But it is interesting. I'm both encouraged and discouraged, to your point. Like, I'm happy the Cowboys made a push, but it's like, what was the reason why things didn't materialize?
And we don't know that. And again, he does have a history and a relationship with Mike Zimmer. So Zimmer getting on the phone and calling him, that certainly plays a part in it. And then I'm going to be curious to see him play in Minnesota because a lot of times we fall in love with names, Clinton Dix, and you get a veteran guy in and you think about what they did 5 years ago and then what they do now. And I appreciated the Cowboys last year realizing they made a mistake with very early in training camp and they moved on from him in a hurry, although there's still a lot of issues with that Cowboys secondary.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. And that's what's exciting about tonight is to see if Kelvin Joseph can pop, to see if Donovan Wilson can continue to pop, to see if Israel Mukuamu, we in our preview show that we do on the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel, we highlight a couple of things we're looking forward to. And we showed a moment from Israel Mukuamu last week where he really kind of locked up and used his size to his advantage. So I really want to see that continue tonight against Arizona. I think, there's a lot of hope for the future, but that future has to happen really quickly.
It does. He is RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Read his stuff there. Watch him on YouTube. You can hear him here. And I'm so glad you finished decorating your office. You've lived there long enough to be able to do that.
Hey, I mean, if I need to get, any other decorating tips, anybody can tweet them at me. I'm actually hanging some things this weekend. I held up the certificate from Rock the Mic. One of the things that's going up on the wall this weekend is the canvas that I have printed out. That's a photo of you, me, Robbie T, and that certificate when I won it 5 years ago yesterday.
Dude, we're canvas quality? That is awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. It's really because of the Wingstop backdrop. You know what I mean? Like, that's a really, it pops. You know what I mean? And it's a great talking point. I've got the certificate. Why not? I mean, Rock the Mic changed my life. I love you guys forever.
Appreciate you, man. Love you too. You're awesome.
Wear the Calvin Johnson shirt, open the package of cards, or I'm going to be pissed off for a long time.
You want me to open them?
Yeah.
Pledge it. Any comments? What I saw you roll a couple through. Was there two? Do we got to split a vote?
Yeah,
Should we open them? Should we not open them? Should we open them? Should we not open them?
You know what? Don't open them, but wear the shirt. That's my most important concern right now. Start wearing the shirt. Calvin Johnson was awesome. He dominated friend of the Saturday Morning Hangover, Jeff Heath, as much as that hurt. But you got to rep Calvin Johnson whenever you can.
I don't know if I can.
I just love that RJ, the man who had a rare Charizard card locked away somewhere that was worth so much money, is the one that is like, yeah, open it. Like collectibles.
You give me so much crap for the variety of college teams that I represent. Now you want me to wear another NFL team. See, and I'm pretty good at that.
I don't give you crap for the college teams. That's everybody else. I give you crap for the NHL teams. You're not a one hockey team guy like I am with my Boston Bruins. You're all over the place. You got like 18 hockey teams.
I got 2. The New Jersey Devils and the Dallas Stars.
Don't forget the Nashville Predators and Vegas Golden Knights.
Fun at a Dallas Stars at Nashville Predators road playoff hockey game. I had fun there. It was incredible. That doesn't mean
I'm calling it now, Pledge. We're gonna get a diatribe one day here on the Blitz after he and Joanna go to Seattle. Man, the Kraken are awesome. I love the environment.
I do love the Kraken.
The Kraken, they got some awesome gear. You know what? I don't have any of it. Any of it.
Yet.
And I will say this. You know, the New Jersey Devils were my childhood hockey team. We won a lot of cups, and they suck now. They have sucked for a while, and they're going to suck for a while. And Texas, so I'll root for the Dallas Stars. I had fun at a Nashville game. I'm not going to wear any Predators gear. I got a shirt at the hockey game because everybody got one. You know how many times I've worn that yellow shirt? Never.
Golden Knights?
I don't have anything Golden Knights. I don't. I don't.
Whatever.
And I'm a Longhorn fan. Go Navy. Wear UTSA stuff because I have some, and whatever college my daughter goes to next. So I've got Sam Houston, Arizona State, although she's clearly she's not clearly off the payroll, but I'm done paying. If she's going for PhD, she's doing that on her own. RJ, appreciate it, man. Enjoy the game tonight.
Well, good luck. Later. Love y'all.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Football tonight. Again, you can listen to the game here on San Antonio Sports Star. Last night, it was the Field of Dreams game, and it was fantastic. What other venues, events, games, leagues, what else should be done that was kind of like that? I think about the Winter Classic in hockey, the college basketball games that have been played on aircraft carriers. What else should happen? What could football do? What should the NBA do? Let's talk about that next. And you chime in as well on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, or on Twitter. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. Tweet at Pledge at I Am Pledger. I mentioned Kielbasa. There's Cowboys football tonight. Going on my grill tonight, I got some wings and I got some Kielbasa sausage because game day is not complete without some great Kielbasa sausage. And you're going to go for the very best, and that is Kielbasa smoked sausage. One of my favorite ways to do the Kielbasa sausage, easy, right off the grill, wrapped in a flour tortilla. And you want to know a little fun fact? Kielbasa sausage, it's the length of the way it is, so it fits perfectly in a tortilla. Kielbasa is a great local San Antonio company, and so sometimes you see sausages at different lengths. Now you know why. Because Kielbasa created their sausage to fit perfectly in a tortilla. Doesn't get more San Antonio than that. So you think about that game tonight, you're figuring out what you're going to eat. Make sure you get to the grocery store. Get yourself some Kielbasa today.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
In the NFL, the Houston Texans had 3 offensive linemen.
What was that, Pledge?
That was Jeff Passan.
Why is he? We're talking about Field of Dreams, and he wants to interrupt your Sports Center update with that?
I know. Jeff Passan's very rude.
Here's a grown-ass man giving you your Sports Center update, Pledge.
Speaking of which, 3 Texans offensive linemen have been placed on COVID-19 reserve list. 1 positive and 2 high-risk close contacts, those being Laramie Tunsil, Roderick Johnson, and Titus Howard. Speaking of the Texans, they play their first preseason game tomorrow when they take on the Packers in Green Bay. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. Tonight, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, you can catch the Dallas Cowboys as they play their second preseason game when they take on the Cardinals in Arizona. Kickoff set for 9. But it all starts right here at 8 with the pregame. Finally, in Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers look to bounce back after dropping their series in Seattle with the Mariners as they open up a series against the Oakland A's with first pitch set for 7:05 tonight, while the Astros open up a series in Anaheim with the Angels tonight with first pitch set for 8:38. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
and Doug. Check it out, Limu, a roadside carnival.
Step right up, folks. Test your strength. Come see the fire-breathing baby.
Let's fan out and tell people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Look, an emo wearing sunglasses.
Limu, you're famous. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at the reopening of Edwin Watts. We've weathered the storm, and now we're open. Come visit our newly remodeled store featuring GC quads in every hitting bay. Check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts has the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more in stock. Swing by our newly remodeled store and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
El Wedo's Automotive Paint provides quality coatings and selection of paint supplies for your automotive finishing needs. El Wedo can match any color for that specific work you're doing. And if you own a car painting or body shop business, you have to compare prices with El Wedo's paint supply to start saving today. Come check us out at El Wedo's Automotive Paint for quality coatings and a great selection of auto painting needs. Located at 3108 West Avenue. Call us at 210-749-3116. 210-749-3116. Check us out on Facebook or Google at El Wedo's Automotive Paint.
When it comes to replacing your home windows, nobody does it better in San Antonio than the Window Source. If you're still living with old, drafty, single-pane windows, those have got to go. Upgrade to new, Texas-made, Texas-proud, energy-efficient windows. The Window Source of San Antonio offers some of the best deals around, and all come with the assurance of a full lifetime warranty. Call 210-880-3021 to book your free estimate or visit them online to learn more. WindowSourceofSA.com. Let them old windows go.
The play is in. The Blitz with Jason Minix and Sports Insiders. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Friday afternoon. Cowboys, Cardinals later tonight. Last night, though, you had the Field of Dreams game on Fox. Played that game in the cornfield in Iowa, and it was spectacular. Most watched regular season baseball game in 16 years. And everything about that game was perfect. And honestly, when I think about those kind of things when they happen, I think, why? Why did you need the gimmick? The Winter Classics in hockey. It's great for television, although those that have gone say it kind of sucks to watch because it's hard to see the puck. The football stadiums aren't designed to watch hockey. You know, I love it when college basketball plays on the aircraft carriers, although I would like to see them do one of those with the aircraft carrier out to sea. You know, a little pop-a shot element when the waves are rocking that boat when you're trying to play basketball. There's some cool things there, but what else can be done? Because while I think it's always gimmicky and I don't know, but when it's over, I'm like, that was awesome. Why don't we do more of that? You know, I think about Big League Weekend when we had that here in the Alamo Dome with the Texas Rangers. You know, it was odd, but it was always fun. It was a good time. What you saw last night was great. Everything about it. Major League Baseball and Fox Television hit a home run from the TV production to the game itself, and it had a Hollywood-type ending with all the home runs in the ninth inning for the White Sox to come through. What could the NBA do? What could the NFL do? What could other sports do to have meaningful games that are made for TV events, that are outside of the norm? I think about what we saw last night and you go, why only one game? Because home teams are losing too much money to play multiple. You know, the old saying, leave them wanting more. Major League Baseball did that. It was expensive to put that thing together. For one game, I don't know financially if it was worth it, but if that was the most watched regular season game in 16 years, that's a home run for Major League Baseball. It's a grand slam because everything about last night was perfect. What do you guys think could be done? 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Let's go to the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. Captain Cool, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Not much. NBA All-Star Game, Rucker Park, New York City, street ball, playground basketball. That is the perfect venue.
Are you crazy, dude? Seriously? I would love to, dude, February outdoor basketball for an NBA All-Star game? Hell no, not in New York City. I would love to see a Knicks-Nets regular season matchup at Rucker Park, either early spring or early season. But the idea of trying to play that kind of All-Star game in February? No way. Maybe Venice Beach. You know, maybe those basketball courts out there in Venice Beach, because at least you know the weather is gonna cooperate. But outdoor basketball, no, that's not gonna work. You talk about player safety, makes me think about the time that we tried to grow grass in the parking lot, and Emmitt Smith took 2 steps out there and said, "Screw this," during Cowboys training camp. That just isn't gonna work. But what I would like to see the NBA do is go to some of the college venues. I mean, imagine Fog Allen Fieldhouse or Cameron Indoor with ticket prices what they are for the students. So you create that college atmosphere for an NBA game. I think that would be pretty awesome. I don't know what the NFL could do. They already go to Europe. They already do some of those kind of games. But is there a legendary high school field somewhere that would be a draw for an NFL game? I don't think so. And again, the amount of money that NFL teams would lose for the home revenue. Washington and Cowboys at RFK. Is that thing still alive? Is that building still standing? I mean, I know what a dump FedEx is. I can imagine how bad RFK is now.
What about doing something in the Astrodome?
I mean, last time I was in the Astrodome was for a New Braunfels Unicorns playoff game against A-Leaf Hastings when Cliff Kingsbury was the quarterback. And literally in the middle of a broadcast, a rat the size of most cats was running along the rail. When you go to a stadium like that and you see where where the wires are and stuff like that. This rat, and I'm just glad it didn't come in the booth. It was the biggest rat I've ever seen. And I used to live in New York City and thought I saw big subway rats. This thing was massive. It would be cool to see, you pick one of those small Texas towns, and maybe the Cowboys and Texans could, play somewhere in West Texas. There are some incredible high school stadiums or small college stadiums. But again, the amount of revenue that they would lose, it would have to be a preseason game. I mean, there's no way Jerry would give up a home gate for one of his games at Jerry World. And the Texans, McNair's not going to give. But a preseason game like we used to get in the Alamo Dome would work. I mean, you think about like Refugio, small town in South Texas, perennial state type game. Go to some place like that. Or there's that stadium, and I've never been to it. It's out in West Texas. Literally, I think it's a cattle field, and they've got that stadium there. There's a lot of cool stadiums that West Texas A&M where they play. El Paso with the two mountains.
What about Odessa Permian? The Mojo Friday Night Lights. You usually see preseason games on a Friday. That'd be kind of cool.
You might be onto something, especially with the Cowboys trying to come up with their mojo moments. Rudolph Renee says Permian as well. I'm getting a text from Permian, Odessa Permian. Absolutely. I think you might be onto something. Friday Night Lights.
Mojo.
And get your mojo moment there, Mike McCarthy. I think that could work. That could be. But I just thought last night was so cool. And the reality is, leading up to it, I was like, why are they doing this? And I think about that with the Winter Classic. I often think about it when they're doing it, going, why? And then when it happens, I'm like, that was so cool. Why don't we do more of it? So I've got to change my thinking when somebody is thinking outside the box, because all I could think of is, well, who's going to Iowa to watch this game? I mean, what a pain. And the tickets were ridiculously expensive, so the average person couldn't go. But then when you see it, it's awesome. I think about one of the coolest stadiums in San Antonio is Antonian. You go watch a game over at Antonian, you walk over that bridge, and then when you're watching the football game, there's a train track right there, and half the time the train stops and you see the conductor hanging out the window watching some high school football. I mean, it is just such a pure setting for high school football. Maybe the NFL should do that. I mean, it would be crazy, and the tickets, even for a preseason game, would be ridiculous. But for all of these events, it's not about the tickets, and that's what I've got to get over mentally when I see them. It's about the TV experience, and I think that would be an incredible TV experience. Imagine, now you got me thinking about Friday Night Lights and, all the people they could do there, but have the high school bands in the stadium. Because, it was weird last year when you would do a high school game and there was no band. That is such a part of high school football. Or the one Friday where the band's at a competition, so they don't come to the varsity football game. And you're like, where's the band? I think all of that kind of stuff would be there. Some good ideas. And I think they need to explore it, because it was a home run last night. And it's a home run when you see them on the aircraft carriers. I think it'd be fun to see a game in Venice Beach, Rucker Park, if the weather is right, not for the All-Star game. And again, I think part of that is keeping in mind you can't take a crown jewel money-making event like the NBA All-Star game and put it in an arena that isn't big enough. I remember when the NBA All-Star game was at Jerry World in Dallas, and hell, that big-ass TV in the stadium is bigger than the actual court. Do more stuff like that. Think outside the box. Good stuff. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to dial up the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, you can do that now. Let's give away some tickets. WWE Monday Night Raw this Monday at the AT&T Center. We got a pair of tickets for caller number 9 right now, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 9, you're going to win a pair of tickets to go to Monday Night Raw, Monday night at the AT&T Center. And it is a Friday. Everybody has their weekend plans. None of you plan on getting arrested. Some of you will. Maybe it's not you, but you get a phone call from a family member or a friend. You get arrested. Somebody you know gets arrested. You want to get out of jail fast? Best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. You could text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 to get you out fast. Whether you're here in San Antonio, up in Dallas, in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between. License number 149. AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
A 17-week season. And only one couch. Let's hope it holds up. The Cowboys are back. The explosive action happens here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 10 locations and check out the Kubota L2501 tractor package deal, which includes a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package deals at ewaldkubota.com.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows returns to San Antonio. The 2021 Hunters Extravaganza, August 20th through the 22nd at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Bring the kids and see Gator Country's huge alligators and last season's bucks in our annual deer contest. Check out the latest in hunting gadgets and gear and enter our locked and loaded mega giveaway to win big. August 20th through the 22nd at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com. A Texas Trophy Hunters production.
Don't get caught in this San Antonio heat with no AC. Save Service First AC repair in your phone and have an AC tech on speed dial 24/7. 521-1500. For a limited time, save Service First AC repair in your contacts and get half off your service call and a free summer tune-up. For more details, call 521-1500. That's 521-1500. Service First AC repair and plumbing.
Have Service First in your phone. 521-1500.
License number TACLA 27100C.
O'Reilly. O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstart batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I feel like I got a great value. I am ecstatic about the diamond that I selected.
Meet Josh Pearl, another raving fan of Diamonds Direct.
I came in with an expectation of what I wanted to spend, and I walked out with a diamond that I was really pleased with.
Before coming to Diamonds Direct, Josh did a ton of online research trying to educate himself. But what he found out was that looking at grading specs on paper means nothing until you see multiple diamonds side by side.
On paper, when they say it's an excellent cut or a good cut, that's great. I don't know what that looks like. How does that translate into what the diamond actually looks like?
Diamonds Direct. Best education, best selection, best warranties, best value, and best of all, the best experience.
People really appreciate places that add a value of customer service to the people that walk into them. And I think that's exactly what Diamonds Direct does. They were glad that they've helped me find a ring that I was ecstatic about.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get directions, store hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
The Dallas Cowboys travel to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals in preseason action. Let's go! Tonight, coverage starts at 8 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Rudy J on your home for Texas Rangers baseball, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Good to hear Rudy J. How was he on R&R this morning?
He made it.
Good.
Carl made it too.
Yeah, I saw Carl earlier today. We all had a really good time last night at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar.
A lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. For sure. Appreciate everybody that came out last night to Slackers. James Pledger showed up last night and woke up this morning, appropriate for tomorrow morning for the Saturday morning hangover, which is tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Is it you and Jack tomorrow?
No, it's going to be me and Brandon Medina tomorrow.
Oh, nice. So I'm assuming you'll get a lot of wrestling talk with Brandon Medina.
We might. There's a big WWE event coming up Monday, so maybe we will. Maybe we'll talk some fantasy football, seeing as the Fantasy Gods is coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's next weekend, not this weekend, because Michael Jimenez is dropping his kid off in college.
He's gonna cry like a little baby.
You know, it's so funny because he's like, no, I'm ready. I'm like, dude, you're going to cry. You're going to drop her off in that long-ass drive back from Baton Rouge because she's going to LSU.
Ugly
He's going
cry.
to cry like a baby. And I got to admit, you know, my kiddo's at Arizona State now working on her master's degree. And it gives me that little lump in the throat, you know, this time of year on Facebook, all the people that are dropping their kids off at college or their first day of school pictures. You know, my buddy Kevin Brock, his daughter's a senior in high school, and he just posted yesterday, you know, that it's just like, you know, you miss those days. The ideas of what they're doing now, and, you know, it's awesome being an empty nester, I ain't gonna lie, but there's certain moments like that just kind of take you back as a dad, man. Cherish the moments. And, you know, to say, oh, I'm not gonna cry, you're a liar. You are a liar. Your kid might be ready, or you might be scared as hell about dropping your kid off at college for the first time. And just the one piece of advice, just talk to them. Know that college, they're going to drink. They're teach them how. They're going to do things, and that comes with it. Just limit the long-term damage of the mistakes you're going to make in these college years. So what you do at 20 doesn't affect you at 30 or 35 or 40. But it's such a fun time. But I miss and I'm jealous of all the people with their back-to-school photos and things like that, because, you know, you don't get that anymore. Cool stuff. You know, you think about the various moments in life, and Greg Popovich just had one. And Greg Popovich talked after Team USA won the gold medal in the Olympics that he's had that sense of responsibility. And he, for the first time, really talked about the pressure that he felt winning that gold medal. Steve Kerr was an assistant on Pop's staff, did an interview with The Athletic. And what he said about Greg Popovich, I thought was pretty telling. Quote, and for Pop, this is in many ways the cherry on top of the sundae for his coaching career. In many ways, this is sort of a fitting topping to his incredible career. Adding a gold medal, just an amazing accomplishment, and talked about what weighed on Greg Popovich throughout the Olympic process and having it delayed for a year and then not having the best of the best to take over to Tokyo. And then when they lost games, you know, all the arrows that were pointing towards Greg Popovich. And then in the article with The Athletic, he says he does not see Greg Popovich stopping anytime soon. Quote, he's obviously still going, but the Spurs, they're not going to win a championship. Pop will be the first to tell you that. That's pretty wild. And I appreciate the honesty, because I think we all know they're not going to win a championship anytime soon. And it makes me wonder, you just won gold. You know you're not winning a title. You've done everything. What is motivating Greg Popovich to keep going? I mean, you talk about a guy who never wanted to be a basketball lifer, who has so many interests outside of basketball, that could make $1 gazillion on the speaking circuit, that could be traveling the world drinking wine everywhere he wants to. If you know you're not competing for a championship, what motivates Pop to go to work every day? And it's, I believe, because for the first time in a long time, he gets to coach up young guys. every coach will tell you, it's when you see guys progress. That's what gives you the satisfaction. You know, whether you're talking about a high school coach that's at a school that doesn't win a lot, but they can see players develop, they take great pride in that. When Daryl Johnston, the Moose, was GMing or whatever the title was at the time of the San Antonio Commanders, and when they folded, and I was like, well, what's satisfactory for you when you get some of these guys that make it to the NFL? And I think we had this conversation on air after Devontae Bosby got signed by the Denver Broncos. And he was like, if they progress, you know, if they made it to a camp, but they hadn't made a camp before, then the Alliance did them well. If they make it to the practice squad or from the practice squad to the regular roster, it's watching the guys develop. And I got to believe if Greg Popovich is going to continue coaching, it's because Greg Popovich wants to watch these young guys develop. And I look at this roster, he doesn't have a history, a track record of letting young guys play and make mistakes at the NBA level. That's what Austin is for. But maybe we're going to see the young guys making the mistakes for the San Antonio Spurs, not the Austin Spurs. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. The Hunters Extravaganza is coming up in a couple of weeks over at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. You want to go? We got a 4-pack of tickets to give away right now to caller number 7, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 7, you get to go to the Hunters Extravaganza. We'll talk Cowboys, Cardinals, and who to watch for coming up here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Not everybody can make it to every game, but every game can make it to everybody.
Culberson swings and belts one. Straightaway left. Way back. That ball is history. It took one pitch for the Rangers to tie the game.
Here's a ball that's lined into left field. Diving for it is Davis, and he makes the catch.
Rangers baseball. It's a whole new ball game. Hear it all right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you looking for a job where you can have tons of fun and make great money? Twin Peaks is the team for you. We're looking for Twin Peaks girls, cooks, bussers, barbacks, and more. Text WORK 4TP to 85000 to apply. That's WORK, the number 4 TP to 85000 to apply.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for fur babies. If you think it's been hard being stuck at home for a year, think about your dog. It's been 7 years for them, and they deserve to get out and sniff the world too. So grab Daisy, Ranger, or Doodles and hit the road. But be sure to stick your head out the window and look for a Motel 6. And like all pets, Baxter stays free. Hot dog. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
The home of the Rangers. This is Rangers Radio on KCDC. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Friday. Hour left in the show, hour away from firing up the grill, getting ready for Cowboys Cardinals tonight. Kickoff is about 3 hours away. Coverage on the San Antonio Sports Star begins at 8 o'clock. Brought to you. What are you laughing at, Pledge? Patello Franklin on Facebook Live. Pop is Batman. You're the hero or live long enough to be the villain. Stop. He's a gold medal winner. Although he doesn't get to keep the gold medal or doesn't get a gold medal. I never knew coaches don't get one. I don't know why they don't. You would think they would.
It was funny. It was a quote from one of the Batman movies that Christian Bale was in, and I thought it was perfect. And that's coaches in general. You're either get to play the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And we saw it turn early in the USA basketball moment where people were questioning Pop. We were questioning Pop. I questioned Pop.
You lose a game and, it's all there. Then you right the ship and you give Kevin Durant all the credit. That is the life of a coach. And you're only as good as your players are. But when things are going bad, it's the coach that has to go. And let's face it, it's easier to replace one coach than a roster full of players. I mean, and the fact that he's coached at one place for as long as he has is a pretty incredible feat as well. We do have NFL preseason football tonight, and 3 hours away from the Cowboys. It's interesting. Jared Goff, I'm seeing some highlights. I guess they're warming him up. He's getting ready for his Lions debut tonight against the Buffalo Bills. I guess Goff's going to get some run in that new offense that he's playing with. It's always strange when you see players leave and you see them in a different uniform. It just doesn't quite look right. I mean, for a while. And I'm still that way with, like Jalen Smith wearing Tony Romo's jersey. I don't understand why you changed from 54 to 9. I know you had 9 before, but although the way you played last year, you probably want to distance yourself from 54. And the Cowboys, you're able to Cedric Wilson wearing jersey number 1. And, Micah Parsons is wearing number 11. And I do expect Micah Parsons to have a solid game today. I think about, that Hard Knocks episode from Tuesday night. He's so wanted to play. And, during the episode, after he had played enough in Dan Quinn's mind, he was summoned to the telephone and had this conversation with the defensive coordinator.
Hello?
Yo, Mike, it's DQ.
Yo.
All right, so tell me about on the Bison. What can you do with your lineman?
Widen out.
Yeah, that way you can edge set and turn the ball back into all the big guys. Hey, that's the ones we learned from, and you got some of the ones in. And the ones I would say on the mobile, like be super aggressive. That's your call to go dog somebody.
All right, can I get one more?
Nope, that's it for tonight.
I'm just getting warmed up. Adjusted.
Me too. So that's it. All right.
That was not enough.
I agree, but we get an extra one, so you'll get plenty next week.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Peace.
First off, I love that Dan Quinn just says peace while he's hanging up the phone with Micah Parsons, and I appreciate that Micah Parsons wanted more. He was playing well. He wanted more. What we didn't know, and probably most of us didn't factor in when you thought about the playing time in the Pittsburgh game, and I remember talking about it last Friday after the preseason game, the Hall of Fame game on Thursday night, I expected some of those guys to get more reps than they did. And then this week, you learn from Mike McCarthy that a lot of guys were held out of the actual preseason game against the Pittsburgh Steelers or had limited reps because, you play the game Thursday night in Canton, Ohio. You fly back to California. You get back to the resort about 5 o'clock in the morning. You're off on Friday, and Saturday you had a scrimmage against the Rams. And Mike McCarthy wanted more reps for the guys against the Rams in a controlled environment. So we didn't get to see a lot of them on Thursday night against the Steelers. Tonight, I think you're going to get what you would normally see. And since the Cowboys do have the extra preseason game, and they had that scrimmage so close to after playing the preseason game. I do expect Micah Parsons to get a lot more reps tonight, along with a lot of the other guys that need to get the reps. And I think that's what surprised a lot of people on Thursday night is, why is that guy not getting more reps? It was because the scrimmage against the Rams. Tonight against the Cardinals, I think you're going to see a lot of the guys that you wanted to see, that we all keep talking about we need to see. You're going to see them a lot more as they get ready for next week's preseason game against your Houston Texans pledge in what is kind of the dress rehearsal for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and you like that Dan Quinn said peace going out. I think he's angling for now that he's in the state of Texas with the Dallas Cowboys, I think he's angling for a little bit of squall on the side. You notice he called himself DQ?
Well, his name is Dan Quinn.
I'm aware.
That's the guy's
but
name.
There's a chance right there for him to make some money.
You know, maybe, sure. I don't know that Dan Quinn is worried about his NIL
Get himself
money.
a blizzard.
I really don't know. Although, boy, you think about, it's been a long time since I've had anything at Dairy Queen. And I don't know why. Probably because there's not one anywhere near me.
Belt Buster.
Well, you think about all either the Blizzard names or, the Hunger Buster, the Belt Buster. What are some of the other ones that they have that could end up becoming like nicknames for
the steak fingers?
The defense. Oh,
the
steak
country
fingers
basket.
Are good. Well, again, though, that's not a good name for a defense. Steak fingers isn't good.
Belt Buster's nice though, especially when you got that big dude they drafted, Bohannon.
Yeah. Although he could angle for a deal with a steakhouse here in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. If you're thinking about the dude, God, I need to go back to Dairy Queen. You're making me hungry.
It's the plan.
I like Dairy
Queen. But I heard him say DQ, and I was like, that's perfect. He's in Texas. It works.
Yeah, but this is Whataburger country. You know that.
Sure.
I mean, and again, can the defensive coordinator sign an NIL deal with somebody that's not a Cowboy sponsor? I don't know how the NIL works for the pros and the pro coaches. I mean, it is certainly very different, but you might be onto something. I imagine Dairy Queen will probably hook them up with. But why don't we have more Dairy Queens in San Antonio? I'm trying to think where one is at. I know there's one over on Paramvidal.
Dilly bars.
See, again, not a good name for the defense. I don't need to hear Dan Quinn talking about his soft serve or his dilly bar. I mean, that is just something that we probably could live without. But there's some things in there that could work.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to go look at their menu.
So you go to Rod Marinelli had nicknames for every defensive player. And every one of the nicknames that Rod Marinelli used to give his players were unavailable for us to say on the radio, if you know what I mean. There was nothing you could say that Rod Marinelli used to call his guys and actually say it on the radio. And a lot of them you couldn't even come close to trying to come up with something that rhymes with because of the nicknames. But I wonder if Dan Quinn, DQ as he calls himself, if DQ will come up with Dairy Queen menu items for various players, although some of them might be a little embarrassing. Maybe he comes up with his defensive awards, either the good kind or the kind you don't want to get in the team meetings, because I don't think you want to get the soft serve award if you're a defensive player.
No, but do you want to get the flamethrower award?
What is a flamethrower?
It's the type of burger they have.
They have a flamethrower burger at Dairy Queen?
They do.
I don't even want to know what's on it. I'm just thinking that's a multi-purpose named burger.
It looks like pepper jack cheese. Might be some buffalo sauce lining the burger bun. Instead of like mayonnaise or mustard or any of that, they'd use like a Frank's Red Hots or something on the seasoning. And then they use pepper jack cheese. I'm just looking at a picture, but yeah. Flamethrower.
Right.
Also a good name for a defense, though. I like flamethrower. That's nice.
Yeah, that would be good. The Belt Buster, the the dude who was the dude of the week? I don't know. Dan Quinn's agent probably needs to get on that. You know what I do know about the Cowboys? They have pretty good marketing types. And
They do.
if there's a way for Jerry to make a buck off of his defensive coordinator, Jerry's going to find a way to make a buck off of his defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. Now, back to seeing Micah play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to see some of those young secondary guys play more and certainly play better. There's a handful of guys back there, and I've been saying since the first day we were in Oxnard, number 31, Maurice Canaday, that dude can play. Now, that's a guy that I forgot that the Cowboys ever signed because he opted out last year. And then you're going, oh, who's 31? You look at the roster and go, oh, yeah, that guy's still around? I forgot that guy existed. I mean, apologize to his parents. I had no idea.
He never played it down.
Well, that's it. But I mean, you go in, you think about the drafted guys. You're looking at what you know is there. Is Jordan Lewis going to be all right? Anthony Brown. Trayvon Diggs is going to be the leader of that secondary. Trayvon Diggs in his second year is a stud. But they drafted some guys, long arms. You think about the Dan Quinn types of what he had in Seattle with the Legion of Boom. He's got a type, and he's got those types there. Are they going to develop fast enough to be the impactful players that the Cowboys need on that secondary? So who they drafted this year, those rookies, I expect to see get a lot of run tonight against the Arizona Cardinals. I want to see Randy Gregory. And you think about Randy Gregory, the Cowboys have a lot of trust in Randy Gregory. Cowboy fans and Cowboy media types don't have that same trust because we don't know Randy Gregory except for all the games that he has missed for all the variety of reasons. But it does look like Randy Gregory is turned a corner in his life and can be the monster on the football field that everybody expected him to be when he was drafted in 1892. Because it feels like he's been around that long. We just haven't seen that kind of production. But I can tell you what we saw in Oxnard, California, when we were out there, Randy Gregory was disrupting a lot of plays. Now, you don't see that on your, local news highlights, and you don't see it on SportsCenter because the position he plays, you're not blowing up your running back in practice, and the quarterbacks have a red jersey. But if you watched any of the Washington football team's game last night, and they got a pretty good defensive player who was causing a lot of havoc, I want to see Randy Gregory make plays like that. Now, he's not going to have DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. And when D-Law gets in there, he'll get the double teams. Randy Gregory should be able to feast. But I want to see him in that quick step that I saw in Oxnard with my own eyes. I want to see that in the game. The defense, more from the linebackers. I mean, you look at Luke Gifford playing well. Again, better than expected. You saw what we saw from Micah Parsons, and that's a guy that didn't play last year. I mean, his first game action in a long-ass time, and his reactions were incredible. You go back and you watch the film, and I saw this on one of the NFL shows where they talked about his ability to read plays and react. The fumble that he recovered, he reacted so fast to that, so much faster than Jalen Smith. It wasn't even funny. And he was able to get that fumble. The expectations for Micah Parsons are growing rapidly. You wonder if he can live up to the hype. We heard it on draft night, when he called into the Blitz the day after the draft. You talk to him and you go, man, the Cowboys have something here. The Cowboys have a player. You watch those Penn State highlights and you realize it's every play. It's not like Taco Charlton who flashed and, made one play every 12 at Michigan. I mean, you knew the Cowboys made the right choice. And then you watch him in practice. Then you watch him in that first preseason game. Then you see him on Hard Knocks and you realize the Cowboys, they have something with Micah Parsons. Can he possibly live up to it all? I mean, that's the scary part. Can he live up to it all? But so far, he certainly is exceeding all expectations for a bar that is already extremely high.
And the thing with Micah Parsons, especially when you compare him to like Jalen Smith, the word that jumps to mind was especially like jumping on the loose ball, instinctual. He doesn't have to think about it. It just happens. And some of the things that I want to see, I'm with you with that secondary. I want to see Nashawn Wright. I thought he played really well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Saw some things I liked. I'd like to see something from Kelvin Joseph, their second round pick, see if he does anything. And somebody I'm really intrigued by after what I saw against Pittsburgh is their 7th round pick. Israel, let me make sure I get this right.
Yeah, I can't say his name.
Mukuamu.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to say that dude's
Israel
name.
Mukuamu.
Make the team, and I'll try to learn your name.
But he
Second
made
year,
some
I might
plays.
actually get it right. Yeah, no,
and
and
he's
big.
massive.
He fits the Dan Quinn type. He's the double belt buster type. I mean, the length that he has, his size, his long arms, his reaction ability. I mean, he's everything there. And I know we won't see him tonight, but I can't wait to see what Malik Hooker is able to do after he's recovering from that Achilles. But the addition of Hooker at free safety, and it might be a while before he's back in the starting lineup because they're going to have to ease him in. But I think that's a huge addition. Izzy, you mentioned him. I'm just going to call him 38.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll call him Izzy for a while because
like
his
Izzy.
name is, or 38. I like 38. You guys used to love a 38 on the Saturday Morning Hangover who wasn't worthy of his name being said. 38, there's something in the number. Just call him by his number and go from there. On the offensive side, it ain't sexy, but it comes down to the offensive line. You look at the swing tackle position and how important the swing tackle is. Tyron Smith is not going to give you 17 games. I went back and looked. Tyron Smith hasn't played a full season, all 16 games, since 2015. He misses 3 games a year. And I think that was what surprised me when I was looking up the number of games that he's missed, because I heard a number and I thought, good Lord, is it that many? Well, a bunch of them were last year because they only played in 2 games. But 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, he only played in 13 games. So he only missed 3. It feels like a lot more than that. But it's not if Tyron Smith gets hurt. It's when Tyron Smith gets hurt. And so when you look at Ty Nsekhe, who was brought in as the veteran tackle, he sucked last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Terrence Steele, who's in his 2nd year from Steele High School here in San Antonio and Texas Tech, he was thrown to the wolves last year but got better. When we were out in Oxnard, coaches were raving about the growth and progress that Terrence Steele had made. Talking to him when he was getting ready to go on R&R in the morning, you could tell he was a different guy. He was comfortable. But he wasn't all that great last week against the Steelers either. One of the better offensive linemen was Brandon Knight as a backup. Pro Football Focus grades had him, right behind Leal Collins as far as the grade goes. Problem with that is he played guard and he played tackle. So his grade's a little bit better, but he was playing some guard. I mean, and I appreciate the versatility, but I was really kind of hoping that Ty Nsekhe would live up to the billing. I mean, you think about Ty Nseke's journey, and I know he used to play for the San Antonio Talons, and I've known him a long time, so I'm rooting for him on a personal level. But when I'm evaluating you as a football player, you sucked against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ty Nsekhe. You've got to be better than that. And I think about when he went to Washington and filled in for Trent Richardson when he was hurt, Pro Bowler. There wasn't a lot of drop-off on Washington's offensive line with Ty Nsekhe in. That's why he got that massive deal with the Buffalo Bills. But he faded with the Bills last year. That's one of the reasons they didn't re-sign him. Coming here as a backup, you go from being a starter in Buffalo to you're playing for a backup role, and you're playing for a backup role when you sign with the Dallas Cowboys and you're at left tackle. You realize you've got to show that you are ready to go when Tyron Smith gets hurt. It's not if. And if I'm the Cowboys and I'm trying to figure out Tyron Smith, NBA calls it load management. I need Tyron Smith healthy in November, December, January. Can Ty Nsekhe play some, ease the load some in September or October? And I know that's not the NFL way of doing things, but, I mean, Tyron Smith, first week of practice, man, he's out there. He looks good. He looks incredible. I mean, I have seen Tyron Smith every year except last year because COVID, we didn't get to go. Every year I see Tyron Smith, and that is a massive, massive human being. And for as big as he is, seeing the kind of shape that he's in, typically, I mean, normally you think about a guy that's 300 pounds and you think of a fat dude. He's not. Seeing Tyron Smith this year compared to 2019 when we saw him, he is in incredible shape. He is in incredible shape. But even then, first week of practice, tendonitis elbow, they got to sit him down. And I'm fine with that. Give him all the vet days he needs. Because we need Tyron Smith to be healthy November, December, January. You got to have that. So Ty Nsekhe, can you be that guy? Or is Terrence Steele going to get there? Because at some point it's a numbers game. I don't know that Ty Nsekhe is guaranteed to make this roster. The way he played the other night, as a veteran guy, he's making more money because he's a veteran guy with a lot of years of service. So if the Cowboys can save some money by getting rid of a guy that's playing no better than a second-year guy, guess who goes? I mean, the numbers game and years invested and all of that kind of stuff factors in when they've got to make those decisions. If you can't separate yourself, they're going with the cheapest guy. It's the business decision at that point. So you've got to separate. And last week, none of those guys separated. At practice, I'm not talented enough to evaluate offensive line guys. I'm just not, right? It is what it is. So you go with what you hear from the coaches. Coaches are really high on Terrence Steele. Really high on Terrence Steele. Can he step up and have that kind of game tonight when he's in there? Because you know what you're not going to have is Tyron Smith playing tonight. So these guys are going to get plenty of opportunities. And the other thing, Garrett Gilbert. Garrett Gilbert, can you look as comfortable at quarterback as Mac Jones did last night for New England? I mean, Garrett Gilbert is going to be QB2. He is your backup quarterback. Part of me says, yeah, let Ben DiNucci play a whole lot because that guy's going to work at Costco in a couple of weeks. Don't let Garrett Gilbert get hurt. But I think they still need to see enough from Garrett Gilbert to make sure he is backup quarterback. He is QB2. Because on cut day, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that become available. And I know we get asked daily, whether it's a Twitter direct message or a text from a friend, why don't the Cowboys go get a veteran backup quarterback? Why not trade for Nick Foles? Have you seen Nick Foles' contract? Same with Andy Dalton, his contract with the Chicago Bears. If Dak Prescott was seriously injured, and I don't believe he is, based on the media reports and the people that I personally have talked to or texted with the Cowboys organization, there's no concern with with Dak Prescott. And the MRI coming up Monday, I think the Cowboys social team fumbled with the tweet they had the other night that caused panic that isn't there, that shouldn't be there. But if there was concern, I think you would see the Cowboys trying to make a move. Because I think we all know it ain't Garrett Gilbert for any extended period of time. A game or two, sure. But he's got to get extremely comfortable. And he's not there yet. Now, granted, he's not handing it to Zeke. He's not throwing it to Amari Cooper. But at the same time, happy feet in the pocket is an uncomfortable quarterback. Are you making the right read? Are you making 2 or 3 reads? Are you going to the right spot, or are you going first read and throwing the football? And watching Mac Jones last night with the Patriots, he looked ready for the moment. I want to see Garrett Gilbert look ready for the moment. Now, as good as Mac Jones looked last night, Cam Newton is still the quarterback of the New England Patriots. It's Cam's job to lose. 5 drives in the first preseason game. Don't overreact to the moment. Bill Belichick isn't giving that kid the keys to the car just yet. Cam Newton's got to really screw things up. And if they're winning, Cam Newton's going to stay the quarterback. If they're losing, Mac Jones will take over. You know why? Because of a major incentive-laden contract for Cam Newton. Robert Kraft doesn't mind giving him $9 million or $14 million, whatever it is, if he's winning games. But if they're losing games with Cam, what does he have to play 60% of the snaps to get $9 million, 90% to get $14 million? The interesting read on Cam Newton's contract. And at some point it does become a business decision. It's not there yet. Cowboys Cardinals tonight. Pre-game stuff gets underway with Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg and Christy Scales in the crew starting at 8 o'clock. Kickoff just after 9 o'clock. You can hear it all here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM, brought to you by Ewald Kubota. Coming up, we'll talk about all the other preseason games happening this weekend, including Pledge's Texans. They're going to play the Green Bay Packers. And Pledge will give us a 12-second update. No, I'm kidding. Maybe you'll get more than 12 seconds. On what he expects to see tomorrow night.
Or
with
we'll
his
just talk about
Houston
something else and
Texans.
run out of time.
Well, that's certainly a possibility because the Texans are running out of time. They really are. We'll do all that as we continue here on the Blitz. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, do us all a favor and get them fixed. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes. We're all busy. None of us have time to go spend hours waiting at a repair shop or want to deal with the hassle of dropping your car off and going back to get it the next day. That's the beauty of New Brakes. They'll come to you. They'll come to your home. They'll come to your office, and they're going to fix your brakes without interrupting your daily life. Friend of mine, Roland, called New Brakes not long ago, actually went online at nubrakes.com, scheduled the appointment, and said they were fantastic. Did a great job. And took them about 40 minutes to get their brake repair done. And that's what they do. They only fix brakes. That's it. No upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Most repairs are done in about an hour, and they only use premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs. And you know what? You can save 10% when you mention my name or San Antonio Sports Star when you schedule that repair at nubrakes.com. You need your brakes done? Get them done with New Brakes. nubrakes.com. Go read all the 5-star reviews and schedule your repair now. You know what? They have weekend appointments. You can get your brakes done while you're watching a football game. You've got no excuse. Do us all a favor. If your brakes are bad, nubrakes.com is the website. Let's get a Sports Center update from James Pledger. Pledge, what's the latest in the headlines?
Well, Jason, the latest in the headlines are we have football on right now as the Lions and Bills have kicked off, and Jared Goff's already been sacked. That's how it's going up in Detroit. Coming up tonight, we've got the Cowboys as they take on the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, you can catch that game right here on your home for Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, kickoffs at 9, pregames at 8. Tomorrow, the Texans take on the Packers in Green Bay. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. They'll be without Laramie Tunsil, Roderick Johnson, and Titus Howard. All 3 offensive linemen have been placed on the COVID-19 reserve list with 1 positive and 2 high-risk close contacts. This according to NFL insider Ian Rappaport. The San Antonio Spurs, fresh off their first win in Summer League play, will get a couple of days to relish in that 106-105 victory over the Hornets as they'll return to action Sunday at 5 to take on the Brooklyn Nets. In Major League Baseball, the Rangers look to bounce back after dropping their series in Seattle with the Mariners as they return home to open up a series with the Oakland Athletics. First pitch set for 7:05 tonight, while the Astros open up a 3-game set in Anaheim with the Angels. First pitch is set for 8:38. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. It's hot outside, and you know what that means. It's grilling season. Our slow-crafted smoked sausage has been made the same way for over 70 years. Pick up your favorite flavor from a store near you and throw some on the grill this weekend. I guarantee it'll be the best sausage you ever had, or I'll give you your money back. Find kielbasa sausage at a store near you.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at the reopening of Edwin Watts. We've weathered the storm, and now we're open. Come visit our newly remodeled store featuring GC quads in every hitting bay. Check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts has the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more in stock. Swing by our newly remodeled store and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
With Amdro, you can enjoy your backyard like never before. Our round-the-clock pest protection gives you the peace of mind to enjoy your great outdoors without a care in the world. Cannonball! Okay, we can't defend you against the splash zone. But when it comes to fire ants and other pests, we've got you covered 24/7. Find Amdro in the insecticide aisle at your nearest retailer.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug.
Check it out, Limu, a roadside carnival.
Step right up, folks. Test your strength. Come see the fire-breathing baby.
Let's fan out and tell people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Look! An emu wearing sunglasses!
Limu, you're famous. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
What are you going to do when your air conditioning goes down? What are you going to do when the plumbing breaks in your house? I know what I do. That's called Service First AC and Plumbing because I have their number in my phone. One touch dial brings a fast service, same-day service called the best, like Service First and AC and Plumbing. The number you need is 210-521-1500. Again, it's 210-521-1500. It's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. Your AC will go down, your plumbing will break, and when you need a first responder, the likes of which Service First and AC and Plumbing can bring, you got to have the number available. They specialize in emergencies. They're family operated. They've been around for 14 years around San Antonio, taking care of San Antonians. Fast, reliable, proactively, and most importantly, they are trusted. AC and Plumbing, the likes of which you need on an emergency basis. That's Service First AC and Plumbing. Put the number in your phone. That's 210-521-1500. 210-521-1500. Service First AC and Plumbing.
When Heidi Andrews worked at another jewelry store and heard all the great things about Diamonds Direct, she thought it had to be too good to be true.
You know, I didn't believe it at first. I thought maybe it was all talk. But, you know, I definitely had clients that would come over and they would show me the receipts. I was like, wow, you got a really great deal and it's a beautiful piece. Good job. I had a little Diamonds Direct envy. I was very jealous.
That's when Heidi knew she had to leave the ordinary store and follow her customers to Diamonds Direct, where she can now offer more of everything, especially more value.
I have more to offer all of my clients in terms of any designer they need, any custom they need, any diamonds they need, any gemstones they need. We have it all. We have it at the best prices. We have it at the best quality. Here at Diamonds Direct, things are not too good to be true. Everything is true. When we say it, we give it to you, and you get exactly what you're asking for, or more.
Diamonds Direct. It's all true. Come see for yourself. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. There's some interesting developments in the Deshaun Watson situation, and it's not good. Now, a couple of things going on. Mark Berman from the Fox TV affiliate in Houston is reporting that, according to sources with knowledge, a Harris County grand jury investigation being used to determine if there's evidence to bring criminal charges against Deshaun Watson is being subpoenaed and put together for the grand jury. But one of the interesting parts is a human trafficking element to this. And Berman says according to the sources, the one putting together the subpoenas for the grand jury is a lady named Jonna Stallings, the human trafficking section chief for the Harris County District Attorney's Office. Now, obviously, the Harris County DA's office isn't going to comment because blah, blah, blah. It's blah, you know, but you think about that aspect of it. And again, 22 civil and 10 that we know of have filed criminal complaints. But you also look at the idea of the human trafficking and prostitution part of it. And quite honestly, I'm not sure how that plays in. You know, there was going through all the different reports and seeing what's been reported. There's at least one female that was flown in from Atlanta, and then Deshaun apparently paid for her Uber ride, or allegedly paid, whatever the legal term that I have to use there is. And that falls under the transporting part of the human trafficking. And then I think about from a massage angle, well, that's similar to what Robert Kraft was in trouble for before that case ended up getting dismissed. So you look at it and you say, grand jury, all it takes is one of all the complaints is for that grand jury to believe one, for there to be criminal charges that could ultimately lead to a conviction. I'm not a lawyer. Don't try to pretend to be one. I do watch a lot of lawyer-type TV shows. And so I'm not ultimately trying to read and understand everything that's going on. But all it does is take. I still go back to, why is Deshaun Watson not on the commissioner's exempt list? Sports Illustrated today has a report talking about two of those ladies, two of the 22, are pissed off at the way the NFL investigation has gone to this point. They're pissed off that Roger Goodell has not punished Deshaun Watson and is allowing him to show up at practice and be on the news every day. And part of that is, in their words to Sports Illustrated, the NFL is showing no respect to the victims in this case. And in the investigations, Ashley Solis and Lauren Baxley are the names of the two ladies that are being very public and talking with Sports Illustrated. They said when they were talking to the Houston Police Department investigators, they talked uninterrupted. While talking with the NFL investigators, they interrupted a lot. They, in the words of Ashley Solis, they kept trying to go back like they were getting tripped up and see if there were any changes to their story. They were, in her words, patronizing and victim blaming during the interviews. And one of the investigators asked Solis what she was wearing when she was with Watson, as if that matters. And it was a woman that asked her that. The quote, "This woman asked me what I was wearing, which honestly really pissed me off," Solis told Sports Illustrated. She explained that that's something that she has to ask. "I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be wearing. That would suggest that I don't want you to put your," and I can't really read the rest on radio. "Do I need to wear a turtleneck?" is what she said. And again, this is on the commissioner. The Houston Texans, I don't think, can send Deshaun Watson home. He's showing up for work. He's under contract. It's a legal matter. They've got him listed as the fourth-string quarterback on their depth chart for their preseason game tomorrow night. To me, this is squarely on Roger Goodell and the NFL. They are set up, the NFL is, to punish without a conviction. And that started with Ray Rice and a video that we all saw. You know what we haven't seen is any videos of Deshaun Watson and one of these 22 women. There's video of Robert Kraft that is getting destroyed. But it certainly does seem that Roger Goodell acts much quicker when there's video involved. See Zeke Elliott. He overpunished, and now he's underpunishing. I think about Adrian Peterson when he went on the list with his son, because there were photos. I don't know if Deshaun Watson has committed a crime. I don't. None of us do. Deshaun Watson doesn't think that he has committed a crime. By all accounts, from his lawyer, he doesn't want to sign the non-disclosure agreement that comes with the settlement, which suggests at some point he wants to tell his story to try to clear his name. You pay them off and sign a non-disclosure agreement and get traded and continue your football career is what could have already happened, is what it sounds like when you hear from his lawyer. But he doesn't want to sign the non-disclosure agreement because he doesn't think he's done anything wrong. Now, based on everything that we've read, I don't know if he's broken any laws, but what he's done, it almost is, kind of as ridiculous as the NCAA investigation into Baylor. Yep, you guys didn't report felonies. You know what? That's not against the NCAA rules. There's just so much to this, but it seems to be getting worse all of a sudden for Deshaun Watson, or at least what is becoming public. And I think about that video clip of him yesterday walking out to practice with the remark to the media, "Why you guys filming me? It's the same stuff every day," although he didn't use those exact words. Well, it's Deshaun. It's because you're Deshaun Watson. You're in the news for a lot of reasons. You should be a starting quarterback somewhere, and you're fourth stringer. You're the story until you're not. You're the biggest story with the Houston Texans, and you're not even playing for the team, and we know you don't ever want to play for that team again. Deshaun wants to clear his name. Deshaun doesn't think he's done anything wrong. He's got a brilliant, high-priced attorney that at this point I figured would have made it go away. And he could have if Deshaun was willing to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Now it's going to a grand jury, and again, it only takes one.
You look at Deshaun and that blow-up with the media the other day that was caught on camera.
Well, let's not call it a blow-up. It wasn't.
He
wasn't
lost
mad.
his cool.
He just, "Why are you filming me?" He looked like a man who's under a lot of stress, but I wouldn't call that a blow-up.
That's the first time we've seen like a crack out of him, though. Everything's been pretty good. Do you think maybe he started to know something was coming like this?
Well,
and that's where you start to see the frustration, is because the subpoenas, you see the sex trafficking starting to get involved. Like, you think he might have known, I mean, and that's caused the crack.
It's gone. And I don't want to say these new reports are changing my opinion as I say this, but it's gone from creepy to criminal real fast. Because while there are 10 that have filed criminal complaints against him, I believe, and I haven't read all of them, but what I've seen in the news, forcible or other things. There was some consensual stuff that he's admitted to. There's a lot of creepiness. I don't know how many laws that he has actually broken. Now you start talking about prostitution and sex trafficking, and that takes it to a whole nother level. And 2 + 2 is the lady from the district attorney's office from the sex trafficking unit was at the press conferences. Well, there's a reason she was there, because it's been a part of the case since the get-go. And again, apparently he's had opportunities to settle. And maybe part of the reason he hasn't settled is some are willing to settle and others want their day in court. It's not about the money. It's about a day in court. And if you can't make them all go away, don't make 1 or 2 of them go away. And maybe that's the game plan. I don't know. It certainly is an interesting development that adds another layer to it. And again, from creepy to criminal real fast when you bring in sex trafficking and prostitution and that sort of stuff. We will talk about the game. Packers, Texans, what Pledge is looking for from his team. We'll do that coming up just after 7 o'clock here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. If you got that reference, you'll win yourself tickets to go see WWE's Monday Night Raw, which is Monday night at the AT&T Center. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. You're going to fire up the grill this weekend. Make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. There are 2 locations. That great meal starts with great meat, and Tri-County Meat Market has it all. Locally owned and full service. They even have their own homegrown Wagyu, farm to fork Wagyu. They've even teamed up with Dean and Pillar Premium Meats out of Floresville for more locally sourced meats. They got everything you need at Tri-County Meat Market to up your grilling game and for your backyard barbecue to be fantastic. They got all the beef cuts. They've got your chicken. They've got the pork. They've got the fajitas. They've got the great poppers. They've got the prepared meats as well. So if you don't want to use your own seasoning, their seasoned fajitas are fantastic. They've got chicken breast stuffed with great food. Their avocado bombs are outstanding. You're thinking about burgers. They got those brisket burgers, which are fantastic. It's all good there. On sale this weekend over at Tri-County Meat Market, they've got picanha at $8.99. I did a picanha about 2 weeks ago that was fantastic. Choice ribeyes, $17.99 a pound. They always have their Pig 5 for $25 available to you. And whatever you're grilling this weekend, take a photo of what's on your grill and upload it at sasportstar.com. You could end up winning a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. And you know when you go into Tri-County Meat Market, you're going to get a 10% discount if you're military or a first responder. They have 2 great locations on Huebner and on Ralph Fair Road, or go to the website, tricountymeat.com.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you cooked on the grill or smoker, and you can win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. Grilling with the Blitz. Online at sasportstar.com.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
How can I make sure my office never stops working?
With Staples Connect, it's possible. I need to keep my back office stocked without messing up my bottom line. Also possible, because Staples Connect has your small business covered with big savings on everything you need. This week, earn 30% back in a Staples store bonus when you spend $85 on ink or $200 on toner. Explore what's new at your local Staples or staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Limit 4 in-store only. Visit staplesconnect.com/store bonus for details. Ends 8/21.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters and a game and a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Hey, happy hour's back at Twin Peaks. Get up here Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree draft brews. Are you feeling snacky? We also have select apps available for $2, $4, and $6. Cheers!
2 teams, 22 players, and over 100,000 screaming maniacs. Your home for Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, it's Keyshawn Johnson with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM, 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Congrats to Joseph. You got the reference. But we'll talk Texans coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Because there isn't one. And really, I don't know what to talk about with the Texans, man. Pledge, I
want to see Davis Mills. That's it.
They play Green Bay tomorrow. You know, I hate all teams that wear yellow pants, or most teams that wear yellow pants, now that I'm an Arizona State fan because my daughter goes there. But I'm not going to see Aaron Rodgers. But in all seriousness, I don't know that the Houston Texans have enough tackles to practice next week, let alone play in a preseason game tomorrow night, now that Laramie Tunsil and two others are on the COVID list. I don't know how they are going to play tonight with when you lose three tackles. And there's an article today on Pro Football Talk about the idea of should the league and the union get together and revisit the idea of mandatory vaccines at the National Football League level. Just make every player get it. Because with the tracing and with the positives, even with the Delta variant, you saw what happened to Minnesota. You lost all your quarterbacks except for the guy that was vaccinated, who wasn't expected to even touch a football, let alone take first-team reps. And now you've lost three tackles. You don't carry enough tackles. I mean, you get a whole position group wiped away because of tracing. And you think about college football last year, and you think about the meeting rooms, and you remember talking to Jeff Traylor about how they were trying to do seating charts on the airplane just to make sure, two linebackers weren't close enough to each other. I mean, just so you didn't lose an entire position group. The vaccination rates at the NFL level, I believe, are over 91% now, and they're getting closer and closer, but you still have so many holdouts that at the key positions. And I've got to believe if you are vaccinated, you're respectful of your teammates who are unvaccinated, but aren't you putting pressure on them to get the shot? When you look at what's happening to the Texans tonight, imagine if that's a regular season game.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've lost Tunsil and two others to the COVID. And there is no makeup games. That's going to be a loss. Now it's just going to be another loss for the Texans.
That's okay.
But at least everybody else on that team will get a paycheck for losing. But if you get canceled because of COVID, you're risking a paycheck for everybody on that team. I don't know if they've decided. If they get a game postponed, do they still get a game check?
I don't remember if they've come to a decision on that, just because the NFLPA is going to get involved with that for sure.
Initially, it was no. But I think that there was some talk about what they would end up doing. But, I mean, you look at it, a lot of other companies have decided that mandatory vaccine if you want to continue your employment. I wonder if the NFL will go down that road. Cowboys, Cardinals, coverage starts at 8 o'clock here on San Antonio Sports Star. Kickoff at 9. Pledge will have the hangover tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll talk to you Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys live here all season long. Every snap.
I love it.
Every catch.
Let's go have a day, huh?
Every